Such a Nerd Podcast. Please make it stop.
Welcome to Such a Nerd Podcast. We're back!
We're back.
Woo, yeah!
Hey, I didn't even try to interrupt you.
I know, right?
You bringing out the gun show.
I am.
I like that.
Watch out for the guns.
So we're here. We're back. It's another week.
What'd you do this week?
What did I do this week? I played some Street Fighter fucking 5 beta.
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
That was fun. Like, at first, should we just talk about it now?
Yeah, why not? Let's do it.
All right.
Fuck it.
Like,
we'll
at
do it
first,
live.
yeah, there you go. At first, it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Like, it was up, and it's like, here you go, it's open. People could get in the training room, and they couldn't really get matches. And they shut it down for a little while, and it came back, and it was working beautifully.
Yeah, so I got home, I logged in, I was in for about 10 minutes. I had started playing around with Ryu a little bit, I switched over to Bison, never found a match. Kicked me out, and I was like, well, I guess that's the end of that for tonight. And, yeah, I guess like 30, 40 minutes later, it was back on.
It was back on, and I found matches left and right, man.
As did I.
And I was a little disappointed that they ended up taking out, I don't really care about Birdie, but they took out Cammy.
Yeah.
Whatever, they're testing. Let's figure out where it goes.
Yeah.
I was happy. I had fun with it. I had a lot of fun.
So what'd you think? Obviously, I still don't have a fucking fight stick for PlayStation 4, so it was a bitch.
I could imagine, because I'm not used to fighting without one now.
Yeah. I'll say one thing. The directional pad on the PS4 is fairly accurate, but it's pretty stiff also. So like with Bison, he still has some charge moves. So I have to hold down back, and my thumb's getting pretty worn out.
Which move is it that he uses that holds a charge still?
Scissor kick.
Oh, wow. Well, that makes sense. It is kind of like a defensive thing.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't try anything outside of just Ryu, but, you know, it's Ryu. He's pretty cut and paste.
Yeah. I will say I got into a match against a Charlie, and the dude was definitely doing like 8-hit combos to me, and I'm like...
Is it Charlie or is it Nash?
Nash.
Oh,
You know what
Sorry. My brain...
it's Nash now.
It's Nash, and there's a special way to spell it. Even Capcom's getting it wrong. So, alright.
Yeah, I got into a match with him, and he was doing like 8-hit combos, and I'm like, dude, the beta just came online.
Well, you gotta realize, all the pros were on there too, because like as soon as it was live, I went to Twitch, because I think I told you while I was letting you know, it's like, Street Fighter 5 is working, it's on, and... I was like, yeah, everybody is streaming it.
Yeah, I was getting emails left and right while I was at work. It's like, so-and-so streaming, so-and-so streaming, so-and-so. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what's going on? And then you were like, dude, Street Fighter 5 is up. I'm like, oh, that makes sense.
I was laughing so hard during Infiltration. Dude, he is such a weird guy. Like, did you watch any of his streams?
I did not, no.
He's nuts, dude. He is hilarious. I want to hang out with him.
Yeah,
but dude,
he seems like... I mean, I've watched his streams before. He seems like a cool guy.
He was playing Ryu, and like every time he'd do a move, he would yell it out as he was doing it. So he's sitting there just going, Hadouken, sorry. I was like, oh my god, dude, you're crazy.
That's pretty cool. So what were your overall thoughts of it? How did it feel? How did it play?
I think it's going to be great. I think it's greatness in the making. Yeah. I'll put it that way.
Because
there's still a lot of work to go.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, even with playing with a pad, I was still able to do some combos and stuff. So, I mean, I would imagine playing on a pad, if I can do that a fight stick's got to feel pretty nice.
Yeah, everything was clicking pretty damn good for actual controller input. So,
yeah,
I would say they're working in the right direction. And can I have it now? No.
So what do you think about the Link combos? Because I know a lot of pros, of course, were like, oh, you're killing the execution of Street Fighter, you're making it easier for everybody.
I think maybe they're just getting a little too overhyped about it. Maybe it'll make the window a little bit easier. Like, yeah. I was pulling off more combos than I did in 4 while I was playing the beta, but I wasn't pulling off substantially more.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and I sat in training for a while a couple times, so...
Yeah.
it was fun to like test around, but bad is still going to be bad, so I'm still going to be playing the way I play. So I think it'll give an advantage to certain few people, but in the end, the pros are going to be the pros, and they're going to figure this game out inside and out. They're going to have their frame rates, they're going to have their frame traps, they're going to have everything. They have nothing to worry about.
No, they'll be fine.
I like the harken back to the old Street Fighters where you have to commit to moves. There's no canceling out with the focus dash.
I did, yeah, well, that's one thing. Another thing I noticed is that the grab animation is kind of weird. Well, I guess the grab hitbox, I guess you would say, because...
It did seem a little odd to me because I had been playing a lot of 4, and I, like, whiffed a lot of grabs. I was like, I would have had that, dude.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on?
Like, I clearly, like, block a guy's, jump-in attack, and I'd go to grab him, and I'd miss the grab, but he would be able to do it like a stand or like a crouching light punch.
Yeah.
And it happened quite a few times.
It was something I read when they first announced, I don't even know his name, that new guy who plays like Saberwolf for Street Fighter V.
Yeah.
But apparently, don't give me shit for that, fuck you. He has like an 8-frame like ramp-up time, basically, to do a grab.
That's ridiculous.
It was a command grab, but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, command grab, okay.
Well, it's a command grab, but at the same time, not too many command grabs are that far away from regular throws.
No,
so it's like, all right, so obviously maybe there's just a boost to the frames that are in throw animations now, because, like I said, normal situations where I was playing, I would have not missed those grabs, and it was just like...
Yeah, it was... I rarely whiff a grab in Street Fighter 4.
I whiffed so many grabs in the beta. I was just like, I'm obviously missing something at this point because I don't understand how I missed this many. I'm right next to you. I hit it. It didn't work.
Yeah, just didn't work. Yeah.
So,
but yeah, overall, I thought it was pretty cool. So I'm definitely gonna have to get a fight stick here shortly.
In the end, it's gonna be. They're gonna figure it out. They're Capcom.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of work. They've got a long road to go, but. For what they have now out, I had a lot of fun. And apparently, before the end of the weekend, they're supposed to introduce 2 more characters, which I'm guessing is going to be Birdie and Cammy. Yeah. So, that'll be really cool. But apparently, this isn't the 3-phase beta. This is just another...
Just another test?
It's a stress test, yeah.
Gotcha. Cool.
But I'm glad it looks like they figured that out, their problem, because like I said, last night, dude, had no problem finding fights.
I had no problem finding fights, but I did get into a couple fights that were pretty laggy.
There were definitely some laggy ones, but I was glad I could find a match.
Yeah,
I'm not bitching.
No, I'm not bitching at all. I'm not bitching at all.
It works better than Mortal Kombat 10 does online. So, kudos. You're already doing better.
Shall we get into news?
Let's go to news. I stopped because last week y'all looked at me like I was stupid.
Dude.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Gary.
Shout out to Kirk.
Yeah, shout out to Kirk, who does not join us this week, but...
Not here this week.
I'm sure he'll be back.
He did send us the movies he was talking about last week, which I should have written the name of them down. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet.
One of them's Return to the Batcave.
Yes.
I don't remember the other. The other was for you, but Return to the Batcave was for me, and I was like, ooh... That sounds corny and fun.
So yeah, he sent them over. I haven't watched them yet, but I'm anxious to
good, because I'm taking Return to the Batcave.
All right.
Yeah, that was for me, not you, asshole.
Well, too bad they're on a thumb drive, so...
Oh, god damn it.
All right, movie news.
Movie. Here we go. Let's
Wolverine
movie it
3.
right along. No, too much?
Wolverine 3 will feature Patrick Stewart as Charles Xavier.
Yeah.
Not a huge bit of news. I mean, obviously...
Still cool.
Obviously, if they're going to have Charles Xavier in this movie, that it would be Patrick Stewart. But I guess the big thing is, well, they said none of the older characters were coming back. They were using the whole new cast that they established in First Class and Days of Future Past. So they were done with the original cast. But
as a fan of the older movies, I'm glad he's one of the returning, especially if they're going to keep using huge Jack Man.
Well, that's going to be his last one, so he says.
Well... Who knows what's going to happen at this point? They're getting to the point where what are you going to do with an X-Men movie?
So, I guess the big thing that came out of this was the most requested... Like, Hugh Jackman put on Twitter, he was like, coming back, doing Wolverine one more time, what story do the fans want to see? Overwhelmingly, it was Old Man Logan. Want to see Old Man Logan? Gotta do it.
So they're doing Old Man Logan in this one?
That's what I'm hoping for, although the one thing about doing Old Man Logan is a lot of the characters that are in that story, they don't have the rights to. A lot of them are under the Marvel umbrella.
See, this is all stupid.
I agree.
Like, what they need to do is Sony and Marvel need to kiss and make up. Fox needs to burn in hell. Who's doing Deadpool?
Fox.
Fuck. Because I actually think that's going to turn out really good.
No, well, Fox does all the X-Men movies. They have the rights to all the mutants.
Yeah, okay, so yeah. That, I'm so confused now. Give up Fantastic Four? They can't do it?
No, they can't. No.
Deadpool, I'm not going to lie. I'm glad maybe at this point that they have it, because I'm not sure if Marvel would have let them go rated R.
No, Marvel would not have.
So I'm really happy about the way Deadpool's coming along.
Yeah.
And the X-Men movies, they're not bad.
No, I mean
3 was bad.
Other than Part 3 and Wolverine Origins.
Wolverine Origins, yes, that was pretty bad. They screwed up a lot.
Those are the two that are really bad. Like, the Wolverine is okay.
I'm glad they could even acknowledge their stupidity in the Deadpool teaser trailer.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, why? Why would you do that? And Ryan Reynolds being back, perfect character for that, so.
Set photos of Dolph Lundgren as Kindergarten Cop 2.
Show's over.
Yeah, show's over. Good
Wow.
night. It was a good show.
We made it 10 minutes. Congratulations.
It's timely, right? It's a timely
Why?
sequel.
Why?
All right, first off, why a sequel to that? It doesn't need one. Second of all, why would you make a sequel and not have Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Yeah, why would it be Dolph Lundgren after fucking Schwarzenegger's having like this return to like cinema right now?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Why would he be significant enough to where he could pull in the attention and the money that you want to make this sequel?
Well, obviously it's going to be straight to DVD. It's not going to be theatrical.
Obviously, the kids are looking forward to seeing Dolph Lundgren if they've seen him in The Expendables.
And Rocky 4.
Because that's a stupid fucking idea. That's what it boils down to.
Neighbors 2. Did you ever see Neighbors?
I wanted to. It looks funny, but I never got around to it because I'm an anime nerd.
Yeah. Well, it's pretty funny. You should check it out.
It looked pretty funny.
Yeah, so Seth Rogen, I mean, you know him. He's funny, of course.
He's the new Adam Sandler because he's actually still funny.
Once again, things that could have been brought to my attention yesterday!
The big question mark on that cast for me was Zac Efron, because he's only ever done shitty Disney movies.
Now, do we have a problem? No, sir. No, Mr. Mouse. No, Mr. Mouse. Oh, that's good, because I thought we had a problem for a minute there, huh? All right, now, get out there and make me some goddamn money!
So it was like, what's Zac Efron gonna do? But Zac Efron was fucking hilarious.
Pulled it off?
Yeah.
All right.
So the cast of Neighbors, the cast of Neighbors will be returning for Neighbors 2.
The whole cast?
From what I've heard, the only one not signed on is Rose Byrne?
Was that his wife?
Yeah. However you say her last name,
I know her from other movies. I haven't seen them movies.
Yeah, she's
probably
she's
pretty
in
funny.
Bridesmaids. She's in
a lot of
X-Men
shit.
First Class.
Yeah, but was she funny enough in that movie to
She
want to
actually
return?
was, yeah.
Oh, well then I hope they bring her back.
I hope they bring her back too, but I think she's the only one that hasn't officially signed on yet.
Straight out of jokes. God, that stupid meme has burned itself into my brain.
Transformers.
Is this the porn version with all like implants?
No.
Transformers.
Transporter.
All right.
Refueled.
I'm disgusted.
All right, talk about it.
It looks okay, but that's Jason Statham. What the fuck are you thinking?
Well, it's a prequel.
Okay, what the fuck are you thinking? Give him fake hair. You can work fucking Gladiator to make it look like you didn't have a fucking belly in Robin Hood. You can fucking work some hair on Statham, you assholes.
Yeah, it is going to be weird watching a Transporter movie without Jason Statham.
Not to say that 2 was kind of like, and then 3 was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But still, you're trying to bring it back onto the rails to get this fucking motivation train going. You get rid of the best character in the whole fucking series.
You said it, you thought it looked good. I think it looks good. I'll give it a try, and we'll see what happens.
I'd give it a shot if it was like, hey, you guys want to see a movie? What do we got? Transporter? Sure.
Yeah.
All right. let's. Was there a specific point you wanted to bring into this other than my opinion?
No, that's it.
That's my opinion. I hate the fact that Jason Statham isn't returning, but what can you do for a prequel, I guess? I don't know. I'll watch it.
All right.
There you go, final verdict.
Lucasfilm president Kathleen Kennedy recalls the shooting of Han and Chewie scene in the upcoming Star Wars film.
The We're Back one?
Yeah, so she was talking about being on set for that moment, and she's like, normally when you're shooting a scene, the actors are doing their thing, but there's always crew members like behind you, like going back and forth and moving lighting and all this other shit. And she was like, that was the first time I've been on any set where every crew member just stopped what they were doing and watched this. And like some people were crying, like, oh my god, this is history coming back, this is nostalgia. So I just wanted to bring it up. It seemed like, a pretty cool moment. So evidently everybody just stopped what they were doing and watched Peter Mayhew and Harrison Ford, reprise their roles.
It's a huge moment in cinema, man.
It is. It absolutely is.
That's why I'm like, Disney better not fuck this up. Because if this was George Lucas, I would be like, I don't even give a shit.
She also talked about how she hooked in J.J. Abrams to direct it.
Yeah.
And she said she made the pitch, and then she asked one question to him.
What was that?
The one question was, who is Luke Skywalker?
Really?
And that's what made him want to direct this movie.
Wait, how does that work? Who is Luke Skywalker? Like, he had to give, like, a definition of the character, or who the actor was, or...
No, like, who is this character? Because, like, alright...
What does this character mean to him?
He grew up on Tatooine, he came back as Darth Vader, he didn't kill his father, but...
So she basically wanted to know if he actually had an idea of what the fuck he was talking about.
Well, no, she wanted him to, like, ask the question, like, what do we really know about this character?
Did you see the leaked images of him in his fucking costume and everything?
Yes.
I approve.
I approve. Yeah.
It was great. So, yeah, you can find leaked images of Luke Skywalker back in his whole fucking get-up. Well, I guess it wouldn't technically be back in his get-up, would it?
No, he's probably stayed in it.
He looks like a straight-up old-school Jedi. And I was very happy.
Dude, I can't wait for this movie, man.
I'm pretty fucking sauced up on this one. I'm ready to let the sauce go.
We got another trailer.
It's getting close to a nerdgasm already.
We got a trailer for The Hateful Eight.
The Hateful Eight. Didn't see it.
Didn't see it?
No.
So that's Quentin Tarantino's new movie.
Is it like going to be a throwback to Kill Bill? Because that's kind of what it sounds like.
It's kind of like, if I could describe it, like Kill Bill... like in a Western kind of deal?
Kill Bill meets Western, so it gets rid of the spaghetti and the spaghetti Western genre that he claimed with Kill Bill.
Yeah, pretty much.
Because they basically had that with the male assassin. I don't remember his name.
Well, I just want you to know that I wrote this whole line down using 8s, like the number 8. So I had Hateful Eight trailer looks great, mate.
I fucking hate you.
Hate.
You're such a fucking punny guy. You're so punny.
Alright, so no, that looks pretty good. I'm excited for that one also.
I'll check it out.
I like Quentin Tarantino.
I think he fucked up the second Kill Bill.
Chair broke again, look at that.
I love when that happens. Your fucking beer just had a nerdgasm all over your lap.
Yep, sure did.
Should we continue right along, though?
Yeah.
It's up to you. I
Yeah,
mean, you're
we'll
the
go.
editor.
No, go.
Alright, what's the next note? I can't see him now.
Bryan Cranston said he knew from the beginning it was a mistake to kill his character in Godzilla.
What?
Yeah.
Why did he say that?
So I guess he was asked about it, and because there's all this like Comic-Con shit, and they just had another con, and Disney's doing their con, and everybody's a con. Everybody's got a con.
You're all cons. Stop taking my moonies.
But no, he was asked about it, and he basically said, well, I knew from the beginning it was a mistake to kill the character, but I'm such a big Godzilla fan, I was like, I gotta be in this movie.
So basically what we're getting hinted at, I don't know if it was announced or anything, or what you're saying, is there's going to be a Godzilla 2.
Well, yeah, they already announced that. Yeah.
Okay, and what he's saying is basically, I want to be in that movie too, you guys are fucking dicks.
No, he didn't even say that. He was like, have my character die in the movie still, but like do it towards the end, because he was like, and he's absolutely correct in saying this, he was like, that character was the catalyst and the glue for the entire movie to come together, and I absolutely agree with that. And when he's killed, it's just kind of like oh, well, fuck, that sucks. Bryan Cranston isn't in the movie anymore. Like, it didn't have the impact that it should have had.
That's probably what it was going for, is more of an impact, and then it just kind of like just fell flat.
Yeah, and plus it didn't make any sense because he fell like 20 feet.
I could fall 20 feet and live. I might be pissed.
Yeah, I'd be pissed.
I'd probably be crying.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's kind of stupid. We love you, Brian.
And I have a right to know!
The Power Rangers movie will feature the original characters, not the original cast, the original characters.
What does that even mean? The original? So they're just going back to the original Power Rangers.
Yeah,
for the
so
movie.
you know,
Alright.
Jason, Zach, Kimberly, Trini.
Are they going to use the rated R trailer?
They are not, although they did
God
say
damn it.
this one is going to be darker, and everybody likes to use the term dark and gritty.
Of course. Ever since fucking Marvel started it, and then DC threw it into overdrive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's got to be the key. If you want, you can't be happy anymore. You got to be like, I hate life.
No,
So-
they did say this one's going to be darker, but it's still going to be. It's probably going to be PG-13.
I'd still probably watch the rated R version that they fucking
Oh, I
the line that got
absolutely
taken off.
Yeah.
The fucking Black Ranger part in that fucking trailer, still, I
great.
was like, what the
Yeah.
fuck is this? So awesome.
Well, even like I remember you telling me back in the day when that show was on. I think it was you, and you were like, "Yeah, I saw one of the Japanese episodes."
Oh, it's a much different show.
Much different show.
No, it was definitely changed to a kid's show.
Yeah, like I remember you showed me the one scene where the Black Ranger basically had his helmet cracked in half
Yeah.
and almost got like his face chopped off. He had like blood coming out the side and everything. And
Yeah, the show is way different in Japan because they are aiming towards, like, the way they did things at that time is like when you watch Godzilla, half the time you don't see that as like an adult movie. It's like, oh, guy in rubber suit. It's obviously for kids. So it's
Yeah.
like, oh, guy in suit. It's fucking, kids will eat this shit up. Whereas over there, they're like, this is fucking awesome. So it's kind of like they are always ahead of the game because look at it now. Look at the way the nerd scene is now. You look
Yeah.
at things like that and it's like, that's my childhood. I fucking love that shit.
yeah,
Godzilla came out, the new one, and it's like, it was awesome.
yeah, I'm still excited for this movie, so I want to see what happens with it.
I'm on the fence. I'd say that. I'm interested to see
fair.
the route they go.
Yeah.
So, more props to you that you're going back to the older thing. I hope you hold closer to your origins than what you did to the American version and made it goofy and...
Yeah.
But, we're kids. We bought it. We
Oh
ate
no,
it
we
up.
totally did. Yeah,
Fucking-
I still buy it.
Bulk and Skull. That's the names, right?
Yeah.
The two bullies,
Yeah.
quote unquote. Alright.
Moving on. Beetlejuice 2 is a thing.
It shouldn't be.
Shouldn't be.
They're
Yeah.
going to ruin it.
I actually watched that movie not too long ago, and I was like, you know what? This is great, just the way
It was
is.
perfect. It's one of those things. It was like, I can't even think of a movie that I'd say it for anymore these days because they always set themselves up to be sequels.
Yeah.
There was no need for a Beetlejuice 2. Why are you going to do it now?
This is another one. It's like, oh, fucking timely. 30 years later. Hey, why not? Let's do it.
People will buy it.
I guess because Michael Keaton did Birdman, and they were like, oh, Michael Keaton's big again. He can sell a movie.
Especially one like Beetlejuice where he's going to be heavily make-upped.
Yeah.
So, I
Well,
guess that's the thing.
Tim Burton's directing. Michael Keaton's on board. Winona Ryder's on board. So they're
Well,
doing it.
That's a good start.
That-
That's
yeah.
a good start.
That is a good start.
Normally when you hear about this shit, it's like, and playing this guy is going to be this guy. Where at least this time it's like, wow, they're all returning?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what you got. I'll give it a chance.
The director of Iron Man 3
Is a cunt.
Shane Black. That is definitely the worst Iron Man, but he is signed on to write and direct a new Predator film.
Well,
Show's over?
show's over again. I'm glad you could join us 2 weeks later. Fuck, why? No. Of any choices. They're just going to throw him money and let him do whatever he wants, and he's going to fuck the whole thing up.
What did you think of the last one?
Predators? I thought it was okay.
I actually like that one.
It
I
was-
I would put it under one, but above the rest.
That's a tough one. Are you talking about, you're obviously the rest, Aliens versus Predators.
Yeah.
So you thought it was better than Requiem?
Yeah.
I thought Requiem was better.
I really liked Adrian Brody. Adrian Brody's a fantastic actor, and obviously he wanted to come in and do this movie because that's not a movie he normally does. He's like Academy Award winning.
Yeah.
So he, obviously he loves the franchise and he wanted to come in and do it. I mean, he had him, you had Danny Trejo, Lawrence Fishburne's in there.
Yeah, you had a lot of big name actors. And like I said, I thought it was good. I've watched it probably 3 times, I think. So obviously, I'd give it best movie ever because I went out of my way to watch it multiple times. But
I will say Requiem is
I
underrated.
thought
though.
Requiem was better. I hated all the advertising in the movie, like that huge Papa John sign in it
Yeah.
that was like forefront in the shot. When that was just stupid.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget the dragon uppercut through the subway or
Yeah.
Through the sewer, right into the streets. I was like, oh my god, did he just fucking Ryu?
Yes,
he
he did.
Ryu'd. Alright. I love you, Predator.
Ronda Rousey says she wants to play Miss Marvel. They haven't casted that yet. The movie's scheduled to come out, I think, 2018.
Do it.
Do it. Fucking
Do it.
let her do it.
Fuck yeah.
She's done movies. I think she's been in 3 movies at this point.
She's already the real life Miss Marvel.
She's definitely the real life Android 18.
Oh, fuck yeah.
As we had that discussion
was-
on Facebook.
Dude, when I saw that, I was like, oh my god. They even have the fucking logos.
Yeah, that was great. But no, I fucking let her do it.
Yeah, definitely. I wouldn't turn her down for something like that.
No, not at all.
She's already proved she isn't like a terrible actor.
No.
She was pretty good.
And she will draw in the fucking crowds.
She will bring the numbers. Fucking, you give Ronda Rousey anything, you're gonna be buying, even if it's fucking 30-second fight. You fucking sold people on 30 seconds for $60. Everybody knew it was gonna be a short fight.
Last bit of movie news. Bill Murray confirms he will be in the new
Of
Ghostbusters.
course he will. He's gonna be like either a cameo or a throwback. I'm not sure which.
He didn't specify if it was just like a walk-on cameo or something, or if he's going to have a bigger part.
Well,
but
just knowing how involved he's kind of been with bringing the information to the masses, I knew he was gonna be in it some form or another.
he always, he didn't want to do another Ghostbusters with the original cast. He had no interest in doing that, but I think seeing how this new one is going, he was kind of like, okay, I can put my name in there.
Well, he was also quoted as being stating that he sees Ghostbusters, the video game, as Ghostbusters 3.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's not like it's a project he's ever forgotten.
No.
So he's had a lot of love for the series, and he's always been one to be like, Ghostbusters. So it doesn't shock me at all that he'll make at least some kind of cameo,
No, not at all.
All right.
On to game news.
All right, games.
Guillermo del Toro says he does not want to get involved with another video game.
Yeah, he's had nothing but bad experiences.
Yeah, so this is coming back off of, we talked about it a couple weeks ago, Kojima said he still wanted to make a game with this guy.
Like,
And
I'm
I
wondering
guess-
what happened with that. Because that coming out and then like a week later, it's like, I don't want to make games.
Yeah, and
Something had to have gone down.
well, to Guillermo del Toro's defense, like you were saying, he's had nothing but bad luck with games. So every game he's tried to get involved with has ended up either sucking or getting canceled.
Yeah, it's basically shit the bed.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Speaking of Kojima,
Oh.
EA executive
Kojima-san.
says... An EA executive says he thinks Kojima will bury the hatchet with Konami.
What is that supposed to mean?
I don't know. I'm assuming if he knows this information that he tried to bring Kojima on board with EA.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that's what happened. He didn't say that's what happened, but that would make the most sense.
Bury the hatchet, as in he'll come back.
As in, he will continue to work with Konami.
Konami would have to stop being a bunch of fucking petty fucking assholes.
Yeah.
That whole box art thing still bugs me. This is the third week in a row I've said it. He's had his name on the front of every single one.
They are being real Tom Petty. We've been over
So
this.
if they're going into this, if you're trying to bring him back, saying that if EA tries to get him, does that mean you're going to put his fucking name back on the fucking cover now?
Well, not only
I'm
that,
getting
but
very aggressive and dropping F-bombs left and right, like I'm about to swing at you.
I feel like Konami has been pretty straightforward that they are going to go into more mobile gaming. They are not going to concentrate as much on console games.
All right, but they've already stated they are not going to stop the Metal Gear Solid series either,
Yeah.
and that they'll just hire somebody else who's going to
And-
do it for less.
Yeah, they said, you're still going to get a Metal Gear, you're still going to get a Castlevania. It's just...
And that's bullshit,
Yeah.
because now even the Castlevania director, he has like a Kickstarter for like fucking indie game now.
Yeah, for
And it's basically like
a
a
spiritual successor.
yeah, it's a Castlevania DS game.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's a side scroller. It's gothic, blah blah blah, magic. Yeah, you know the deal when you get into a DS Castlevania.
Oh, and I have this on here. So EA, we talked about EA. Well, we mentioned EA a couple weeks ago, like 3 or 4 episodes ago, and I was like, yeah, EA did something really cool, and then I totally forgot to talk about it.
Yeah.
So I remembered and put it in here this time. So it's old news at this point, but I don't know if you haven't seen it. Yeah, so EA sent a tweet to the Seahawks.
Yep.
So to explain this, if you remember in the Super Bowl,
Yep.
the Seahawks were down on the 2 or 1 yard line. Mm-hmm. And instead of they have the most physical runner in the fucking National Football League. So instead of trying to punch it in from a yard out,
they made the mistake of trying to throw it.
They decided they were going to get cute and try to throw it into the end zone. It gets intercepted, and that's the end of the game. Patriots win.
Now, Seattle, let us bitch about the stats.
So EA released the stats for Madden,
yep.
And Marshawn Lynch had 98 on his trucking stat. The max is 99.
And they were like, why?
They were like, what's a beast got to do to get 99 in trucking? And EA responded with,
one of these, and they put up a screenshot of all running plays at the goal line.
Yep, all goal line running plays.
I laughed so hard.
That was phenomenal, and I can't stand EA, but that was great.
I'm loving these Twitter burns that keep coming out lately. Like the Penguins one I think I told you about. That was great.
Yeah.
Everything about it, so great. That was National Geographic, I think, that did that.
Yeah.
Good on you. It's like, the Penguin is blah, 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 this height. And they're like, well, the Philadelphia. Did I really say Philadelphia?
Yeah, you did.
Pittsburgh Penguin usually stands at a height of an average of 6'3", and they're like, oh, that's crazy because we've been checking and it seems that there's none of these penguins on the ice right now. What do you have to say about that? Nothing.
Nothing to say about that.
Oh, that's what happens when you get eliminated in the playoffs and then you try to be cute.
Resident Evil 2 HD remake confirmed.
I'm up for it.
Yeah, I'll play it.
I got the first one, which was just the GameCube update.
Yeah.
So, little disappointed in that. So, I'm kind of happy this is going to be a full-on remake.
Yeah, from ground up.
Because that is, by far, my favorite Resident Evil.
I haven't played it in I don't know how long.
That was the game that finally made me get a PlayStation back in the day.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. It's probably been since 1999, 2000.
1999!
It's been a while since I played through that game, so I wouldn't mind going through and playing it again.
It's a fucking awesome game. You should do that.
No, not going to do that.
Whatever.
Drug testing will be happening soon in
for
esports.
Man, goodbye to your ganja buddies.
So this all came out. One of the team members, I don't remember which team, but he was doing an interview, and he was like, yeah, some of the guys take Adderall so they can stay up and play these games later and get more practice in. And that was kind of like what set this whole thing off. So they're going to be drug testing for that, as well as for marijuana here coming up soon.
That's bullshit. Medical marijuana. There's a lot of stress in esports.
So, yeah, I just thought it was funny that esports is already to that level where we're going to get drug tested for it.
Well, it makes sense for something like Adderall, though.
Yeah.
Because that shit... I don't know about Adderall, but I've heard that'll help with things like that.
Yeah. This isn't really... Well, it's kind of news. There's not really a point to it. I just wanted to throw it out there.
Then move on.
Hearthstone earns approximately $20 million a month in revenue.
Wow. So they don't even need World of Warcraft anymore.
So this is why all these companies are going the mobile routes, because Hearthstone is free to play. You can download it now.
Even technically, that started as a PC game, got moved over to the iPad. Got moved over to iPad, and now it's on, I believe it's on iPhone. I don't know if it's on Android. I don't have an Android phone, so I couldn't tell you, because I have it on my phone.
But yeah, it's free to play. You download, you play, but you can buy new packs and stuff.
$2, get a new pack of cards.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the route that a lot of these companies like Konami are trying to go, because obviously these things are just revenue.
Because they're not as
money
intelligent.
printers.
They're not as intelligent as Blizzard, who figured out how to do it on all fronts.
Yeah,
we already knew Konami's in financial struggles right now, aren't they?
Yeah.
So
that's why they're making all these changes.
Yeah, I think that's why. Whereas Blizzard kind of went with everything.
Yeah.
I think they saw that kind of how everything should go, and they're like, let's make this game. It's going to be PC exclusive at first, but it's going to be a simple enough game to where we can actually just move it to tablet devices. And if that works, let's move it to phones. Smaller interface, but people already will know what's going on.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what happened with me. I played it on PC when they were like, oh, by the way, this is on your iPhone now. I was like, what? So, even randomly, I'll get points where I'm on break or I won't be doing something at work, and I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to go on fucking Hearthstone here, and I'm going to find me a match. And I play online, just randomly.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. It's dumbed down magic.
It is. It really is.
It works.
Yeah. I had fun with it.
So, yeah, good on you. You did it right, Blizzard. Konami, you're fucking stupid. I don't know what you're thinking.
Last bit of game news I had was the Street Fighter V beta thoughts, so we already went over that. Small bit of WWE news. WWE. I just wanted to bring this up because I feel like stuff like this doesn't get promoted enough, especially by companies like WWE.
What's that?
Because they're always about like, oh, John Cena does all these Make-A-Wish Foundation things, and that is awesome that he does that, don't get me wrong. But they only really talk about John Cena doing that stuff. Like, other wrestlers do that, and they never say, like, these wrestlers do that. Like, Randy Orton does a lot of them, Daniel Bryan does a lot, Daniel Bryan does a ton of them, probably as much as John Cena, and they never talk about him. This one was Titus O'Neil took a bunch of homeless people out to lunch.
That's pretty fucking cool.
He didn't, call the news crew or anything, like, hey, I'm doing this, and...
He just basically was like, this is on my list for the day, I'm gonna go do this.
So basically, he took 2 homeless people out to lunch, and,
Why'd you gotta go quiet, man? We could have talked over it. Alright, I forgot the rules, and I forgot to quiet my cell phone, I apologize.
He's an asshole.
He took 2 homeless people out to lunch,
okay.
And he went to a restaurant, and he said the manager was very rude about having homeless people in the place.
Really?
So he was like, okay, no problem. So the next day he got like 8 homeless people and took them back to the restaurant. And like I said, he didn't call news crews and do anything. Like, somebody happened to be in the restaurant, recognized who he was, took a picture, put it on Twitter, and it kind of blew up from there. So Titus O'Neil, awesome guy.
And he's fighting for human rights, basically, at that point. Because when you're sitting there saying, oh, even though you're going to pay, these are homeless people, I don't want you in here. It's like, how about go fuck yourself? I'm just going to start bringing more of them now.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, so good on him.
Yeah, definitely. Good on you, mate.
All right, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and I have a little review I'm going to do.
Oh, you got a review?
I do.
Do we get a sneak peek?
Sure, it has to do with Superman.
Let's go.
All right.
To break. Fuck you.
Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Holy shit, did you see that?
What did I see? I missed him. Was the Flash here?
No. But it was faster than a speeding bullet.
Oh, is he faster than a locomotive?
More
Stronger?
powerful, yeah.
Ah, fuck. I don't even know the rules.
So we are back. We're going to talk. Well, I'm going to talk. You can kind of talk. You sort of know about it.
I know fucking Christian Bale.
Yeah.
I know Batman.
Yeah. No. So,
Yeah.
a while back, you came over to do the podcast. I was playing a video by Kevin Smith.
I've been here for a podcast?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
This is not the first time.
Is this a reference? I think I might know where this is going. Go ahead.
So I was playing a video, Kevin Smith, basically, it's called An Evening with Kevin Smith. He goes around to different colleges, he does Q&A sessions.
He's a nice guy for that.
Yeah.
Unless he's getting fat paid for it, then he's an asshole.
Actually, I think when he goes to colleges, he will not accept money for that.
Oh, that's definitely awesome.
But if he goes to like a stadium or something, then yeah, he gets paid for that. But yeah, he doesn't get paid for doing colleges.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, well, who cares? He's Kevin Smith. It'd be fucking awesome to see him in that.
So somebody asked him a question about a script he was writing for Superman Lives.
Yes, then you are talking about what I think you're talking about.
So he launches into, and it's like a 30-minute long story about what was going on. He was writing the script.
Yeah, what happened, and
he was like, Mallrats came out, and the script for Chasing Amy was done, and it was going around Hollywood, and people were offering him rewrite work.
Now, I'm going to say one thing off of all this. I don't know if you're going to talk about it, but when you're talking about that interview with Kevin Smith, the best part about that is how he's talking about, I don't know if he named the director or not, but he's like, it's got to have a giant spider in it. And in the end, it came back to, next thing he directed was Wild Wild West.
Yes.
With the giant fucking spider
That
at
was
the end.
that was a producer.
That was hilarious.
That was a producer, John Peters, who wanted a giant spider creature in the movie.
And, like, apparently he was, like, obsessed with just making sure there was a giant spider in this movie.
Yes. So, once Wild Wild West came out, of course, he got his fucking giant spider.
Yes, he did.
So, Kevin Smith talked about this movie, and it was a really interesting story, because I had heard about Superman Lives. I remember actually...
There had been, like, small rumors. It wasn't like nowadays where it's like Twitter blows up, Facebook blows up.
I actually remember seeing it in, do you remember Wizard Magazine?
Of course I do.
Yeah.
West Coast? Wasn't it West Coast Wizards?
No, just Wizard.
Wizards of West Coast? I thought it was. It
might have been at one
connection to
point.
Magic. I don't remember.
No, it wasn't that. It was,
Oh, okay.
It was straight comics.
Okay, no, then I didn't see that.
They had the comics price guide in the back always.
I've heard about
Okay.
like the price guides and everything, but
All
I
right.
never actually read that.
So I remember seeing this in Wizard at one point. They were like, new Superman movie coming out. Tim Burton's going to direct. Nick Cage is going to star.
Which is a fucking atrocity, just to say it, I'm sure.
This was coming up, and then all of a sudden, you'd never heard anything about it anymore. It was just kind of like, whatever.
Which, just, we'll stop for a second. Do you think that's for the better?
That's
Oh, you seem like you might question that.
that's part of what I wanted to talk about in this, because...
Okay, then we can hold off.
All right, so the Kevin Smith video comes out. He has a little insight to what happened and stuff like that. And when Tim Burton got involved, that was basically the end of him working on that project.
Yeah, he is like, I do not want that fucking clown working on one of my movies.
Which was really funny because, and what I'm going to talk about, they talked to Kevin Smith, and Kevin Smith was like, yeah, one of the producers came over to me and was like, if you could pick any director to direct your script, who would it be? And he was like, Tim Burton. Because he did Batman, and he did a great job with it. So if you're going to do another superhero movie, why not do Tim Burton?
Tim Burton was ahead of the curve on the idea of comic book movies being dark and gritty.
Yes, very much so.
That's what made me sad about the whole Batman thing, is because it was going to such a good location where you were like, what the fuck, dude? And then all of a sudden it's like, Bat credit card. It's like, wait a minute, why am I looking at Bat butt? So, yeah, I always thought that was really cool how Tim Burton handled things, and I wish he had done more comic book movies.
Like 3 years ago, I saw an interview with a guy. He was like, yeah, I'm doing this documentary. It's about Superman Lives. And
yep, you're talking exactly about what I thought you were talking about.
he was like, yeah, I'm doing this documentary. This was like 3 years ago. He's like, I'm doing this documentary. I'm working on it. It's going to be, from conception to what happened at the end, because nobody really knows.
I don't know if it was a thing or not, but did he have a Kickstarter for that? I don't remember.
He did.
Okay.
He did have a Kickstarter for it.
Yeah, I remember seeing it too, and I was like, there's this movie I've never heard of for Batman?
So I kept seeing him here and there. He was like, yeah, it's still a thing. I'm still working on it. And it just kept going until finally, like 6 months ago, I think he was on Machinima, I believe. And he was like, the movie's almost done. It's coming out soon. Well, the movie came out.
Yep, it did. I haven't watched it, but I did see that IGN went to the official release and they reviewed it. They didn't give any details, which is kind of what I wanted, but they're trying to be spoiler free. And in my mind, I was like, it's a documentary. Just fucking say it. It's not a real movie.
So it's called The Death of Superman Lives: What Happened.
Yes. Did you actually watch it yet?
I did.
How was it?
So I actually, not only did I watch it, I paid money to watch it.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, because I was that into it, and obviously this guy has worked for years to get this done. Some of it was crowdfunded, but I think he said the money ran out after the first year. So the last 2 years, he's basically been funding it himself.
You got to be a passionate motherfucker right there when you're fucking giving away your own money to work on something.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think he said that's what took so long, was that he was paying for all this himself.
So he could only do it basically as his income would allow.
Correct.
Okay.
So before I get into it, funny story, he has a YouTube channel. Mm-hmm. So he put the trailer for it up, right before it came out. And then it came out, and he put the first 10 minutes of it up on his channel. And then a week later, it was The Death of Superman Lives: What Happens. and the full thing was up there. It said full movie, so it was like an hour and 58 minutes.
And was that like you got to pay to watch it on YouTube?
No. So I clicked on the link to see what it was all about, and it plays the first 10 minutes of the movie like in the other video, and then it immediately goes to like, it does like a whole Donnie Darko thing where it's like you just see people in rabbit mask.
Just to clarify, I didn't watch Donnie Darko either.
Okay. No, well, you just see people in rabbit mask, and the director like starts like shaking his head no, and then he's walking down this hallway towards the people in the rabbit mask, but it's super slow motion.
Yeah.
For like the next hour and 20 minutes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
And at the bottom, it's like, here's the link to buy it. Please go buy it.
So basically, he trolled the shit out of the internet.
Yes, he did. It was great.
He uploaded the early release on YouTube that you were like, oh, I can catch it before they get rid of it. It's like, I obviously did not.
Well, the weird part was that it was on his channel, so I was like, alright, I know this guy's been working on this for years. He's put his blood, sweat, and tears into this. Why would he just put it on YouTube? And then I saw that, and I was like, you got me. That's pretty good.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta troll, man.
Yeah.
I do a pretty good job of it sometimes.
So the director's name, John Schneps.
Schneps.
Let me double
Are you
check
sure?
that.
We're fact checking people.
John Schnepp.
John Schnepp. Not
Yes.
He's not a liqueur beverage. He's not a Schnaps.
He's not Schnapps.
So that's the director.
Yes, John Schnepp. So he's the one who made all this. So it
Did he do a good job?
all right, so I'm going to give a little mini review, and then
Okay.
I'll do some spoilers.
That sounds good.
All right.
Oh, we're going spoilers?
Yeah, we're going spoilers. So if you don't want to hear spoilers, just skip like 3 minutes.
We'll wait till you get to the spoilers and then say skip 3 minutes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, so it starts out at the beginning. It starts out with Kevin Smith, and he's like, I was being offered rewrite work, and they gave me a script for, like, I don't remember what he was talking about, but he was like, Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian was one of them. And,
Yeah, he was offered, I think it was 3 scripts
Yeah.
to work on.
They were like, all right, these are the scripts that we have for rewrite work, and then he was like, and, there's the Superman one. And he was like, what, you're making another Superman? What? And he's like...
Of course, it's Kevin Smith. That would be the go-to for
Yeah.
Kevin.
Well, he was like, he just mentioned it in casual conversation. He wasn't offering me the job or anything. But he was like, can I read the Superman script? And he was like, you can read it. I can't guarantee that you can write a script, because that's a big franchise. It's got to go through a bunch of different people. But he's like, if you want to take it home and read it, sure. And he was like, so of course I got home, and the first thing I read was a Superman script. He was like, fuck that other one.
He threw both of them to the fucking wind and said, Superman.
I remember what the other one was. He was like, it was, they were remaking an Outer Limits episode called The Architects of Fear.
Which would have been a good one, too.
So he actually said it. I read the Superman script. It was fucking horrible. And he's like, I did end up reading The Architects of Fear. And he was like, in my opinion, it was fantastic. There was nothing that I could add to it. I thought it was a great script. And they haven't made that movie yet. And I still wonder why. And he's like, back then I understood it because it was kind of an obscure thing. It probably would have cost them like, 40, 50 million bucks, which back then was a pretty good amount of money to invest into a movie. So he's like, I can understand back then why they didn't make it, but for right now why they won't make it, I have no idea. It's a great script.
So that interview it's probably like maybe 2 or 3 years old with Kevin Smith when he's talking about this stuff.
Yeah, because he's still pretty heavy. He's lost a ton of weight too.
Has he?
Yeah.
That would be crazy to see.
He looks better than he did in the first Clerks.
But
he's lost a ton of weight. But yeah, he's still pretty heavy then. So probably about 2 years ago.
So for that amount of money, even today, that's
still
a pretty big budget for something
Yeah.
like that. But honestly, the amount of money they throw out on these movies now,
Yeah.
like Adam Sandler got 88 goddamn million.
He's got 88 goddamn million.
He's got a goddamn 88 million. It's like, no, if he read it and he's still that impressed,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
So he went back to them and told them all that about the Architects of Fear. I'm not supposed to be doing spoilers yet. God damn it. Hold on.
Oh, how was that a spoiler?
Well, because I just wanted to give a general overview.
All right, we're going to give the spoiler warning now.
No, hold on.
All right, keep going.
All right, so the movie has a lot of really good information in it because other than what Kevin Smith
said in his interview.
Yeah, you really didn't know much about it, like what happened, what was going on in pre-production.
So wait, with as much detail as Kevin Smith gave in that interview, there's that much more?
Yes.
Oh, this is good. I like it.
So, fuck, I lost my place.
You're talking about where the interview actually...
Yeah, so they
left off with the interview and they picked up with the movie.
Yeah. So they interview Kevin Smith, they interview John Peters.
By the way,
who was
fuck
the
it, I'll do
producer.
it live. Alright, continue.
They interview John Peters, who was the producer, the crazy producer.
The crazy Spider-Man.
They... not the Spider-Man.
Not the Spider-Man. He's the crazy...
Spider guy.
DC, I want Spider-Man in the DC universe because I want a Spider in my fucking movie guy.
Yeah.
There you go.
They have Tim Burton.
Yeah. Fucking Edward Scissorhands.
Yeah. They have a lot of like the people that were working on the costumes, some of the special effects guys that are doing concept art. So they talk to a lot of people, and there's a lot of really good information there about just how far into production that they were going.
Yeah, how close into this being a thing it actually got to.
So, and this is a topic like it's just always been interesting to me when you have a franchise as big as Superman, with a director as big as Tim Burton, with an actor as big as Nick Cage in the late 90s was the fucking man.
Yeah, he was definitely...
The Rock, Con Air.
His big one will always be, what was that weird drugged out movie? You know what I'm talking about? Las Vegas. It had to do with Las Vegas.
Oh, Leaving Las
Vegas. Yes, thank you. As I was just figuring it out, you say it.
Yeah, he won an Academy Award for that.
That movie is insane.
It is.
I will watch that any day of the week.
Yeah, so, I mean, Nick Cage was the man. So, an actor that big, like, how did this not get made? How did this just fall apart?
It probably started somewhere with fucking Tim Burton shitting on Kevin Smith.
Well, we'll get into all that in spoilers. But...
Okay. Well, it was in the interview, so I didn't see it as a spoiler. Sorry.
So, yeah, I mean, basically, they go through all this stuff. It's a very interesting documentary. It's about something that I've always been interested in, just what path this movie went on that eventually got it canceled, and it's not exactly what you would think it is.
Really?
And that was kind of the thing that I won't say pleasantly surprised to learn, but just kind of, like...
You enjoyed the information you received.
Yeah.
You wouldn't say you're happy about it, but at least you know.
It makes you look at things in a different light.
Well, that's probably a good thing, because these days, everything is looked at in awkward lights.
Yeah. So, my rating would be best movie ever.
All right.
Pick it up, see it, watch it if you haven't seen it.
I'll probably watch it next weekend, not this weekend.
You're going to watch it on the break?
In my parental break, I'll call it. I go a little nuts with movies and anime when I don't have Kyron.
Yeah.
It's literally, it becomes an all-day thing. It's like, oh, I have nothing to do, so I'm going to watch movies and anime all day.
Hey, that's a good time.
That's why Ninja Turtles worked out, because I didn't have them, and I was like, all right, I'll watch this steaming pile if I ended up liking it.
So the only thing I'll ask is to please keep in mind that this was a small independent film, basically done by one guy who put his life's work into this movie.
It was his life, pretty much. He was given the crowdfunding resources, and when it was out, he still worked for 2 more years afterwards.
Yeah, don't be a douchebag and go download it. Just fucking buy it off of his website and watch it.
Oh, god damn it. All right, yeah, let's do that.
Let's get into spoilers.
All right, spoiler time. If you want, let's give it, how long do you think it'll take?
Let's do 15 minutes.
15? Holy shit. Skip to the whatever mark it is. 15 minutes from now.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Do it live.
So, as I was saying, the movie starts out, he's talking to Kevin Smith, and, he decided, he was like, the script for Superman sucks, what are you guys trying to do here? It's just completely campy, cheesy, it's horrible. And the guy he was talking to was kind of like, all right, well, thanks for your input. And his agent...
well, you're done.
Yeah. His agent called him, a day or two later, and he was like, they want you to go back up to Warner Brothers. So he goes back up to Warner Brothers, and this time it's that guy and another guy, and he was
he's like, so what did you think was wrong with it?
No, he was like, tell him what you told me about the Superman script. So he goes into his whole spiel, and they're like, all right, well, thanks for coming in. So he's like, this happens 2 times, 2 more times. And he's like, they finally get to the 4th time total that he's going into Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it was like every time he comes back, there was another person sitting there saying, tell him what you told us.
So he gets to it, and the studio head at the time is Lorenzo de Bonaventura. And I know that's a name, right?
That's a hell of a name.
So he was like, Lorenzo was the first guy to say, well, what would you do differently? And he's like, I would do this, this, and this, have him do this, this, and this. And they're like, all right, well, we want to give you the job, but it's pending approval of the producer. You got to go meet with the producer. This producer's a freaking whack job.
Yeah.
His name is John Peters.
Wiki.
He produced Batman along with Tim Burton, so it makes sense, although they do specify in the documentary that him and Tim Burton actually had a little bit of a falling out over Batman.
Really?
Because they were trying to go in two different directions.
I would like to know his direction on Batman.
I know, right?
Let's do a documentary. So Batman puts the penguin down into the ground, and this giant fucking spider comes out of nowhere. Sorry.
So yeah, basically they're talking to John Peters. So one of the things that Kevin Smith is like, I go up and I talk to him, and he's like, telling him my ideas, and John Peters is like, all right, we're gonna make a good movie. You know why? Because you and I, we get Superman. We're from the streets.
Yeah, I remember because in the interview, Kevin's just like, we're from the streets.
Yeah, because Kevin Smith is like,
streets.
I'm from the suburbs of New Jersey. Never saw a black guy till I was like 25. He's like, you're a former hairdresser. Neither of us are from the streets.
Yeah, that was good. That's like the best part of it. He's like, we're from the streets. No, we're not.
So they go into all this. So Kevin Smith, evidently, he does 2 drafts of a script. Mm-hmm. And they go to Kevin Smith, and they're like, well, if you could pick any director to direct this, who would you get? And he was like, I'd get Tim Burton. Because Tim Burton did Batman. And at this time, it's like 1994.
There's no wide spectrum of good comic book movie.
Yeah, so, I mean, you've had Batman and Batman Returns at that point.
And they were, at that time and for a long time after, the 2 best.
Yeah, definitely. So Kevin Smith was like, I would get Tim Burton. I mean, why wouldn't you? Look what he did with Batman. It became one of the biggest, films ever under his direction. Why wouldn't you get Tim Burton? So they go out, they get Tim Burton, and Tim Burton comes in. He's like, all right, I'm on board. I don't want to use that script. So Kevin Smith was like, little did I know when I told them Tim Burton that I was signing my own death warrant for this project.
And do you remember why Tim Burton was so, angst against Kevin Smith?
It wasn't that he had anything against Kevin Smith. He has his own style, and he wanted to do his own thing. So he had his own team of writers that he wanted to come on and do it. And this was one of the things that I found just fascinating about the documentary, was that all these people that are trying to make this movie know nothing about Superman. Like, fucking nothing.
Except Kevin.
Well, so Kevin does the script, and the guy that Tim brings in to rewrite the script, he's like, I was reading through the script, and a lot of it didn't make any sense to me, because I didn't know who this character was or that character was. And, Kevin Smith, so he was like, basically, they wanted to have the death of Superman be the first half of the movie, and the second half of the movie be the return of Superman.
Kind of like what they did with the animated movie.
Yeah, kind of.
That was a great movie, by the way. I don't remember the name off the top of my head, but...
I think it was Doomsday. Was that one?
It just called it straight out Doomsday?
I think so.
Either way, it was really good. Because, man, Doomsday beat the shit out of Superman in that movie. And then the clones, you know the gist. Sorry.
So the guy's like, I was reading the script, and he had this guy called the Eradicator, who's one of the versions of Superman that come back. And he was like, I didn't know who the Eradicator was. I didn't know what he represented. So I changed him to a computer named K. And this computer was like Superman's life support system when he died. And it was just like, I just can't put into words how little these people knew about Superman. By Tim Burton's own admission, he doesn't read comics. So he didn't know anything about Superman.
And see, when you look at something like that, Tim Burton, at that point in his span, he's blowing up, right?
Yeah.
He's not going to sit there, and that's what really sucks, because it probably could have been good, because with Batman, I'm pretty sure they did a lot more research into the characters and everything. They changed a couple things with Joker killing the parents, blah, blah, blah. But at this point in his career, he's probably like, no, you want me to make my movie? I'm going to make my movie. Fuck that guy. I'm not going to go off anything he says. So basically, I'm guessing that's what happened, which is why Kevin just pretty much got shat on.
Yeah, so they were basically like, all right, Kevin, you're done here. We're going to go another direction.
Yeah, we're going to make our movie.
Yeah, and that was pretty much it. So this is back in 1994 when all this started. The movie didn't get canceled until 1999.
Really?
So 5 years of pre-production, concepts, getting everything down. They were working on the suit for like 4 years.
Getting your actors,
because we've all seen the picture of Nicolas Cage in the Superman suit.
looked freaking stupid.
So there were a couple interesting things that came out of that as well. So evidently, when Bryan Singer was making Superman Returns,
Yeah.
and people would start to question him on where the movie was going, he would pull out that picture of Nicolas Cage in the Superman suit and lay it down on the table and be like, see that? We're not making that movie. So basically saying, trust me, it can't be worse than what you were going to do with this movie. And
I didn't think Returns was terrible.
Returns was fucking terrible.
I didn't think it was absolutely terrible.
Not Brandon Routh's fault, let me put that into perspective. I thought he did a good job.
With that. He did a good job.
Yeah.
You can only work with what you're given.
Yeah, exactly.
So, alright, sorry, mini diatribe.
So we've all seen that picture of Nicolas Cage in the suit.
It really is the stupid. Like, the first time I saw it, I literally was like, this has to be Photoshop. This cannot be a real thing.
So
It's real.
Tim Burton was like, look, people, you got to understand, that was in a hotel room. It was the first concept we were doing for the suit.
It doesn't matter.
It was the first time he had put it on.
Doesn't matter.
He still had his long hair because he was shooting Con Air.
It doesn't matter.
They go through all of that, and I'll tell you this, at the end of the film, and he was also like, that picture was shot or snapped, in rapid succession, and that just happened to be the one that leaked out. So, like, they caught Nicolas Cage in the middle of a blink, so his eyes are half open. He looks like he's high. Yeah, exactly.
He did his Nick Cage face.
So he was like, his eyes are half open. We didn't have any lighting there. It was just to see what it would look like, at rough edit, pretty much.
I can understand how that goes because Hollywood, even then, they were getting to the point where post-production looks a lot different than pre-production.
Yeah. So I will say this, because they did they did costume test for like 4 years on this movie. They were trying to get the costume right. And they have another picture of Nick Cage in the costume. His hair's a little bit shorter, and he's like standing in front of a sunset. And it looks pretty good. Like, that was the point where I was like,
Ooh,
you know what?
That.
I was like, you know what?
Oh.
Hold on.
They sold you a little bit.
They did.
Oh, goddamn.
So they're going through, they go through all the concept art. Brainiac was the one that I was still a little iffy on.
I didn't see that one.
So Brainiac, basically, Tim Burton had this idea. It was going to be like him in his cloak, but then the cloak would open up and he would have a bunch of like mechanical legs. So he'd almost look like a spider. Hey, go figure.
Hey, man, you just can't get rid of that theme.
Can't get rid of it. And that was the one that I was kind of iffy on. So it was basically like, Mars Attacks, his head in a jar.
Oh, that was great.
On top of spider legs is what it looked like.
That was one of the funniest things ever, by the way. I love that movie. Super love that movie. I actually went and saw that in theaters as a child by myself. It was one of the firsts. So, yeah, if you haven't, by the way, check out Mars Attacks. Go ahead.
So they're going through some of this other stuff. Like, John Peters would come in with, like, the most random shit. Like, he watched, like, a documentary on, like, Neanderthals. And he would come in and be like, I need a skull spaceship. A Neanderthal skull spaceship. So they actually made this model...
Are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you. They made this model Neanderthal skull spaceship that had all these little, like, intricate carvings around all the bone.
By the way, good on you. That had to take a lot to get out. I just tried to say it in my head and you said it. Neanderthal skull spaceship.
Yeah, it did.
Whoa.
So that, funny enough, is in John Peters' office. And funny story, so he came down to the concept department and he was like, hey guys, I'm having a meeting about the movie. I want to show somebody this. Is it alright if I take it? And they were like, yeah, sure, go ahead. So he takes it, and then they get the call the next day that the movie's shutting down.
Imagine that.
Yeah, go figure, John Peters.
I'd have kept that shit too. It's like, oh, well, it's done. Well, I guess this is mine.
So a couple other things that I found really interesting was that, and Tim Burton is being Tim Burton, of course. He's wearing his sunglasses and everything, but
He's Batman.
through his mannerisms, like, he asked the question, does it still bug you that you never got to make this movie? And he, like, clenches his hands together really hard, and he was like, it really does. It really does bother me that I couldn't make this movie.
He's a lying piece of shit. He's over dramatic to begin with. Of course it is. When he goes home, he's sitting there taking a dump. He's sitting there going, you know what? It would have been cool if I did, but whatever. No, he is not that passionate about it. I can guarantee.
You watch the movie, you might think differently, because that's how I always felt about it, was that Tim Burton got paid his $10 million no matter if the movie got made or not. He didn't care.
He got something. He probably didn't get the full scale, but they're like, you worked this long, here you go, here's your money.
Well, they actually talked about that too. He actually, I believe they said he only took 20% because he was like, look, I've been working on this for 5 years, I'm taking something.
No, you got to if you're working that hard and that long on something.
Yeah, so I think they said he took 20% of his, whatever his director fee was or whatever.
Either way, it would have been terrible. I'm still glad it didn't get made.
Look, all I'm saying is watch it, see some of the concept art, see some of the final, because they finished the costume, they got the costume down that they were going to use. Just look at all that and then say, you know what? I think this might have been really interesting if they had done it.
I'm not going to lie. I was already interested just from hearing Kevin Smith talk about it, but to see the different angles, I was already going to be like, once I saw online, actually, that it was a thing, it actually exists, the documentary was done, I was like, okay, I think I got to see this, because there's no way in hell that somebody thought this was going to be a good idea.
So they get to the end, and basically what they say brought it down wasn't like, creative going in 100 different directions or just people unable to come to a conclusion on what this movie was going to be. What it really came down to was that Warner Brothers just had a string of bombs, just like bomb after bomb, and it started with Batman and Robin, and that's where they started from. So like Batman and Robin bombed, this movie bombed, that movie bombed, and it came down to
Hey, we should start a channel called Movie Bomb. We aren't trying to take your audience at all, Movie Bob. 20 million fucking views. Piece of shit. Josh likes you.
Yeah. It came down to they had two big movies in production, and they were looking at Superman starring Nicolas Cage versus Wild Wild West starring Will Smith.
Oh, god damn it. Are you really saying that's the one that pulled the trigger?
That's the one that it came down to, because they were like, right now, Will Smith is the biggest movie star on the planet.
He really was.
And he was. So they were like, we're going to invest what we have in Wild Wild West.
You can't top Nick Cage 90s until you mention Will Smith 90s.
Yeah, exactly. Late 90s.
Yeah, pretty much. Wow. That's so crazy. I never knew that.
Neither did I.
You just literally finished your spoiler segment? Is that it? Any more spoilers?
I mean, I could talk about it for another 30 minutes, but
that's
all I'll
pretty
say
awesome.
Is go watch the movie. It's worth a watch.
It makes me sad, except for the fact we got a really good episode of South Park out of Wild Wild West.
We sure did. Gonna say something, how yak from the big metal spider.
So, with that in mind, I would stick with Wild Wild West. If that episode of South Park didn't exist, I could throw it up in the air.
Me and Artemis Clyde are gonna say something, how yak from the big metal spider.
Right. What are you doing, turtle dove?
Alright, so we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we got a new segment.
We got a new segment. Everybody does it.
Everybody
so why wouldn't
does
wait?
it.
We're going to get gay.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's the segment. Getting gay.
Getting gay with Josh and Diamond. Why did I go so random? Oh, yeah, I was thinking about that episode of South Park. They took our germs. Everybody get in the pile.
No, we're going to do a top 10.
We each have our own respective top 10s.
Yeah, so because it's the first time we're doing it, you're getting a double dose of top 10.
I'm going to double dose your face.
I'm going to double dose right in your mouth.
Should we tell them what it's about, or should we wait?
Yeah, we'll wait.
Check out this fucking sweet little fucking changeover we got here while we go on break. Oh wait, is that the Mallrats thing? No wait, that's. You remember what I'm talking about? The elevator.
Yeah.
I love you, Kevin Smith. Come on the show.
You know what? That hurts. Like, what do you ever add to the fucking proceedings? You got like one answer for everything. Pussy, man.
We are back and the dick jokes are over.
Oh, we were referring to last week's episode when I say I'm opening my DJs and it's like dick jokes?
Yeah.
What? No.
Wait, was that last week or the week before?
I think it was last week.
Was it?
No, the week before. You're right.
Okay.
You're correct. I apologize.
I win. Haha.
No, you don't win anything.
Shut up.
You win a mouthful of dick. Do you want your prize?
My DJ?
That was pretty good. I like it.
So we are going to do our first ever top 10.
Top
so
10. We
double
each have
dose,
a top 10.
Double dose of top 10s.
We have top 10s from our two favorite YouTube content producers, as they're referred to.
Yeah, so I referenced a couple weeks ago that Key of Awesome was about to do their 100th episode.
The Key of Awesome. The Key of Awesome.
Which they did.
Yeah.
So they basically did a mashup of all their tunes.
That's what? Wait.
Yeah,
how does that work?
It was pretty epic.
So it was kind of like when The Lonely Island did their thing on, was it the Grammys or the MTV Music Awards? They did some music show where they came out and they were the special guest and they mashed up a bunch of their stuff. Did you ever see that?
No, I didn't.
Really cool to watch, so I can't ask if it was like that, but I hope it was because they did a really good job.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. I liked it. So it was a nice little trip down memory lane, which makes my top 10 even more relevant. So I'm doing the top 10 Key of Awesome videos.
Fuck you, mine's more relevant. Because my guy doesn't produce content much.
Yeah, every 2 months, maybe.
I'm looking at you, guy I'll announce later.
So this is strictly just Key of Awesomes. It's not any of their side projects. It's not any... and they do other funny stuff like Barely Guys, Barely Ads, movie trailers. Frank Ruin's movie trailers is great. I love that one.
Frank Karuba.
Yeah, and Super Therapy is one of my other favorites too. They do some really funny stuff on there, but this is just going to be Key of Awesomes.
Straight up Key of Awesome.
Alright, shall I begin?
You shall begin today, at this time, at right this point,
At right now.
when I am talking on the podcast today. Continue. I'm sorry.
Alright, so I was talking to you during the week. I was like, this is really fucking hard. I got it down to like 26. And then from there, it was a really big struggle.
Hey, my name's David. Welcome back. Sorry.
So
Sometimes it just comes out.
yeah.
He's an asshole.
I had to bring in the official daughter and the official wife of the podcast.
Oh.
Yeah.
It took some work then.
It did. So
It was a 3-man team working this top 10 down.
Malia and I got it down to like 15.
Yeah.
And then Amy was able to come in and get it down to top 10 for us. So here's what we got.
All right. Are we going 10 to 1 or 1 to 10?
10 to 1, buddy.
Number 10.
Number 10, Monster Mash. Number 91, Key of Awesome.
Monster Mash?
Monster Mash.
They did a
He
Monster
did the
Mash.
mash. He did the Monster Mash.
Monster Mash.
The first to arrive was Dr. Hannibal Lecter. He brought his own date, and he seemed to respect her. They hit the dance floor with a jive and a jitter. Then he ripped off her face. He's pulling out her liver.
That's really gross.
So they did it for Halloween last year. It's basically them going through how all these old monsters like Frankenstein and Wolfman are like all passe, and now it's about like, you know, cutting people's heads off and eating their face and all this other stuff with the new horror movies.
Fuck yeah! I like that shit.
So they have the little they have Hannibal Lecter on there. They have the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. They have Leatherface. They have Freddy Krueger. The girl from The Ring shows up.
Oh god.
Yeah.
That bitch is terrifying.
So it was pretty funny. Check it out. Key of Awesome number 91 is my number 10 spot.
Number 9.
Number 9, Shake It Off, the Taylor Swift parody.
But I never, ever, ever get pissed or miffed. I just bottle up my rage, then right ahead. I shoot haters like a fly at a picnic. And I whack 'em off, ha ha ha.
I was about to shake it, but then I realized I got a fat ass settled into a seat and I didn't want to shake.
Key of Awesome number 90, the Shake It Off parody. So the girl who does Taylor Swift in this one is the same one they have that does Kesha.
Oh, that's a good pick.
Yeah, I thought she did a really good job, but it's very funny because it makes fun of Taylor Swift, it makes fun of the lyrics, it makes fun of pop in general.
That's a very easy subject to make fun of.
I agree. So yeah, it's a good one.
Number 8.
Number 8 is Key of Awesome number 82, which is the Timber parody.
Now Kesha, stay 2 states away. I don't want to have the guy come and spray. This song's about objectifying women and selling products like Pitbull's fried chicken. Stay right there in that dive, Luganis. Bet that place smells like ass, anus. Hey, what happened to that model? Uh-oh, she just got ate by sharks.
So that's
who?
Kesha and Pitbull.
Oh, that's Timber.
Yes.
Timber. I was like, Tim Burton?
I'm going Timber.
We've talked too much about Tim Burton recently.
right?
It's stuck in my head. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so this one's another really good one because if you've ever seen the actual music video, it takes place in 2 different spots.
Yes.
Like, she's in a bar and he's on a beach somewhere.
So obviously they couldn't get together to make the video, so they were like, fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah, pretty much. So they reference that in this one, and it's basically like Pitbull wants to stay as far away from Kesha as possible because she has bed bugs.
She probably does. She's probably got at least what we love in Maryland.
What's
crabs.
How did I walk right into that one?
You
and not see
did
it
too.
coming?
It's like if I told you about Up Dog.
What is Up Dog?
Exactly. That's what's up, dog.
You fucking dick.
He's an asshole.
Man, oh my god, I got you twice. That is so good. I love you, Josh.
Number 7.
Number 7.
It is Key of Awesome number 59, which is Payphone by Maroon 5.
And if the 7 kingdoms did exist, I would drink and party with that imp. Viserys had gold poured onto his head. He's no fucking dragon, now he's dead. Ouch!
Payphone. Are they making fun of the movie or Maroon 5?
Maroon 5, basically.
Alright, I love it.
So in this one, it's instead of Payphone, it's Game of Thrones. So Adam Levine in the video is obsessed with Game of Thrones.
I can enjoy that idea.
Yeah.
I've had that moment.
It's very good. One of my favorite lines in that one is, "I'm not doing music anymore. From now on, you can just be Maroon 4." Pretty good.
That's pretty fucking good. I like it.
Number 6.
Number 6.
Key of Awesome number 47, Someone Like You by Adele.
Every one of your songs is untrue. I caught herpes and willy warts from you. Children tell me to drop dead. They throw milkshakes at me head. Even the Queen once said, "F you, Adele's boyfriend."
I don't know that song.
You would know it if you heard it.
I probably would.
So in
Because
this one,
I'm happy. No,
No.
I know that.
No.
It's terrible. That was my singing voice, by the way, because I haven't
fucking
done
horrible.
that a million times already.
So in this one, it's basically Adele talking about all of her boyfriends and how she hates them, and then one of the boyfriends shows up and she's like, "Stop right there, Adele! Don't sing another word. You're the cause of all this." He's like, "Yeah, I have herpes. I got it from you." Really good stuff.
That's
So I
good
like that.
times. I like that. Good job.
Number 5.
Number 5.
Key of Awesome number 41, E.T. by Katy Perry.
I believe it.
So this is not the original version. This is the version that for some reason has Kanye West in it.
Kanye, why are you here? I don't like this version. You're not on the album.
Tay, let me be clear, every single pop hit needs a rapper on it.
David has a mouthful
I did.
of semen.
Hey. Whoa. Yeah, I did.
No, so yeah, Kanye West version. So it's basically how Kanye has busted into the video, and Katie's like, "Why the fuck are you here? I don't want you here."
That should be a thing.
That
'cause
should be a
guy's
thing.
fucking dick.
I agree, but that's a really good one too.
All right.
These are all really good ones. Like I said, I got it down to 26, and I was like, "What the fuck do I do after this?"
What number are we on?
We're on number 4.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Key of Awesome number 43, "Give Me Everything" by Pitbull.
Me not working hard, yeah right, capture that with a Polaroid. Just take it and shake it. Wait, they no longer make it? Then try Preparation H for your hemorrhoids. Just made $1 million on that, my checkbook's on steroids. Pitbull, Naya, Neo, J-Lo, Dave Matthews, Regis, the other Neo, Gandalf, Waldo, Josh Groban, Ron Weasley, Lassie.
Another Pitbull.
Jeez, Pitbull is a target.
The guy on Key of Awesome, Todd, he does a phenomenal Pitbull.
Does he?
He does. It's awesome.
Give me that.
So on this one of my favorite parts is at the very beginning, because in the beginning of the song, he's naming the people that are on the song. He's like, Pitbull, Naya, Neo, so-and-so. And on this one,
It's a hip-hop trend,
Yeah,
Josh.
exactly. So on this one, he rambles off like 30 people. He's like, Regis Philbin, Josh Groban, Ron Weasley, Neo, the other Neo.
What are you supposed to do when you're Mr. Worldwide?
Yeah, so obviously, again, great one. I'm going to say that after everyone.
Number 3.
Number 3, Pumped Up Kicks.
Oh.
Chicks with their beach ball tits getting chopped and tucked. Your lips look like a duckbill. Hollywood chicks don't know when to quit. It's an addiction. Look at McGryan, who is giving chicks all these tucked up lips. Well, I guess it must be Dr. Asian Duck.
First I make you feel bad, but like a bellboy, I take care of your bags, stretch your face and fix your rack.
Like Reeboks?
Old
Old school from the 90s?
All these pumped up kicks. No, so this one is about celebrities in Hollywood. Well, not even celebrities, just people in Hollywood who get a bunch of plastic surgery.
Oh, that's the thing.
So instead of pumped up kicks, it's ducked up lips.
Oh,
So
they're talking
everybody's
about
got-
some Botox.
Yeah, everybody's got duck bills for lips.
Hey,
It's pretty
man,
great.
sometimes you gotta do that.
The best part is that who is giving chicks all these ducked up lips? Well, I guess it must be Dr. Asian Duck. And they have a puppet that's an Asian duck. It's hilarious.
I was waiting for a Dr. Dre joke. I should have seen this. Jeez.
Number 2,
Number 2.
Key of Awesome, number 58.
58. Jesus.
Call Me Maybe.
Oh, what did they do to that?
You're my one and only, that's what my doc told me. But don't think you own me. Now let's sacrifice some chickens. I've got some handcuffs. Feel free to spank me. But here's a safe word. It's call me maybe.
It is phenomenal. So basically, Carly Rae Jepsen is a crazy person
All right.
has
That's believable.
who has brought this person home, slept with him, and is like now like, oh, you're my boyfriend. Good line in that one. I made you Pop-Tarts with extra gravy, but I'm a call girl. You have to pay me.
I love it. That's I gotta see that. Can we cut the show?
Oh, we'll check it on break.
All right, we'll check that on break.
I'm going true Watch Mojo style. I have honorable mentions before number 1.
Oh, no wonder you could get the list down so you could at least throw them out.
I had a couple honorable mentions that were hard to cut. But
that Watch Mojo logo has a big-ass nose.
Yes, it does.
It's like Doug from those Nicktoons. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes. Yeah.
That dude has a huge schnoz.
And he wears underwear on his head.
He does, but that's not him. It's Quail Man.
Yeah, well, whatever.
Oh my God! Did I actually know that?
Yeah, you did.
Continue.
You didn't even have to think about it. Honorable mention: Key of Awesome number 64. Never ever another Taylor Swift parody. So this one is how she's obsessed with Jake Gyllenhaal.
Isn't that one ironic? Don't you think?
A little too ironic.
A little too ironic.
Key of Awesome number 52. Santa and I Know It instead of Sexy and I Know It.
Yeah, I know that one. I've seen it.
I ain't a nutcracker, but I do bust nuts. Great line.
I'm glad you remembered that one just randomly. Just like, hey, this was one of the lines. Shut up.
Oh, no, I told Amy. I was like, yeah, I want this one in there simply because of that line.
Who the fuck is Amy?
I know. Oh, official wife of the podcast.
That one. I remember that one.
Number 74, Can't Stop, Miley Cyrus parody.
Man, they love Miley.
This one is great because they have Mark Douglas, who's another one of the guys. He's actually the creator of Key of Awesome. He shows up as Billy Ray Cyrus.
Yeah.
And tries to get into the video, of course.
That's his life right now. It's pretty much Miley.
My wife gave birth to a cash machine.
That's awesome.
Last honorable mention.
That's the key of awesome, by
It
the
is
way.
the key of awesome.
All right.
Last honorable mentions, number 44, the Steamy Slow Jam.
Damn.
This is not a parody on anything, but it's just, he's talking about Harry Potter characters that are trying to get it on.
Bellatrix, why are you sitting all the way over there? Say, have you done something new with your hair? You give me a tingling deep down in my pants. Feels like being eaten by sexy ants. Make no mistake, I want to show you my snake. No, not you, Nagini. I meant the snake in my pants.
And it's great.
Wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
It's like the unseen side of Hogwarts. It's all the characters trying to get with each other.
So now, number 1.
Number 1.
Have I been doing my Screw Attack voice? I think I've been doing my Screw Attack top 10 voice.
Yeah.
That's bad.
Oh, well.
Hey, Screw Attack, we love you.
Shout out to Screw Attack.
Shout out to Screw Attack. Number 1.
Number 62, As Long As You Love Me.
I said number 1, asshole.
Key of Awesome, number 62, As Long As You Love Me, Justin Bieber parody.
I haven't seen it. I haven't seen a lot of Key of Awesome.
Alright, so in the original video of this, Justin Bieber is getting his ass beat by James Madsen.
That should be real life.
It should be real life. Who also played Mr. Blonde in Reservoir Dogs. He was in Kill Bill, so on and so forth.
Great actor.
So this whole video is basically James Madsen, or the guy playing James Madsen, beating the shit out of the guy playing Justin Bieber.
It folded my legs back, ripped off my nutsack, stuck me with thumbtacks. He must be mad. They pushed me off the roof, beat me with phone books. How does my face look? It's not that bad. No, not the hammer. Owie.
All right. I'm in. I'm
so,
on board.
You know it's got auto-tune in the song.
Of course.
Yeah, so he's like, as long as you la 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 la, you know, that kind of shit. So this one,
Biebers.
Yeah, and this one, as he's getting his ass beat, he's like, someone call 999991111. It's great, and the girl's like, how many 9 was that?
How many? Is that 4 ones? I don't get it. It's that's a great idea.
Yeah.
I like it. I love it. I want some more of it.
And at the very end, I think the reason this really gets number 1 for me is at the very end. It's Justin Bieber's severed head, and he's like, he's got his iPhone laying next to him, and he's like, calling believers, it's Justin Bieber, put me in the freezer to preserve my head. And it's the Emperor from Star Wars picks his head up and makes him Darth Bieber.
Oh, wow, they went all out.
It's great.
I like it.
That's my top 10 Key of Awesomes of all time. I hope they keep doing it for another 100. It's going to be great.
I guess we'll find out. Fucking throw up the horns.
David.
Yes.
You have a top 10.
I have a list somewhere.
Somewhere around here. I think
It's
it's over
written
here.
on paper. I'm not in the future like you.
Yeah, I got mine all digital.
I wrote down my top 10 list, and my top 10 list happens to be something different. I have my own personal list of this guy. You might have heard of him.
I think we've referenced him once or twice.
He only has like 2 or 3 fans. His name's JonTron.
Oh, you meant 200 or 300 million. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Something like that. There's zeros somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Thought they were all in the front.
Yeah, there's like...
Apparently they're all in the back.
Yeah, there's like 8 zeros in there. Alright.
I have my top 10 JonTrons. I hope... In my head right now, I just hear the theme. I kind of got a little excited.
Blah, 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 blah.
Sexually. So, I almost went straight to number 1.
Oh,
That's
no,
the terrible
don't do
part.
that.
I saw the 1 and the 10. It threw me off. Number 10 is Conan.
Conan!
The Conan episode. Yes.
Conan also decided to file his taxes quarterly to avoid overages and remain cash solvent.
Take this sword, but only use it to move rugs. Like,
oh, the sword is to move rugs.
It was such an awkwardly awesome episode that I fucking loved it, especially the ending. The ending was completely awkward. Where he's just like, I don't remember what was up in the corner anymore. I think it was like some kind of peppers or something.
I don't remember.
They were like going through all these epic moments as he's going through the finale of the episode. He's like, look, they've been up there for the years. It's scary. I fucking... Oh, and when he starts talking about the, what was it, Commodore 64 game with the boomerang sword?
Yes.
He's like, oh, an avian ally. It's a great episode. Definitely worth checking out. Especially when he gets caught in fucking DOS version in the wall.
Yes.
He's like, oh, that peasant with leprosy is having more fun than I am. Great episode. Number 9.
9.
The first Malkovich episode.
Let's begin. Contestant number, you're dead first. Which game console is this a cartridge for?
It was Malkovich talking about video game. Yeah, that was great. Especially the hotline part where everybody keep talking. Hey, does your mom have a dick? That was great. Everything about that was so awkward. I don't know how to phrase it because it was like he was referencing old technology with new technology. He was like, oh, cable, modem, internet. It was so good. Malkovich, I'm a fan, Malkovich. I wouldn't call and talk about your mom's dick because she clearly doesn't have a dick. Next caller.
Here you explore some of America's most famous locations, such as California, Florida, Texas, Iowa, and Wyoming? Well, that's literally America's least populated state. 50% of the population is just hostile winds. You know, I'm being hard on you, Wyoming. Let's give you a shot.
Wow! That was just as bad as I thought it was going to be.
8. The Barbie episodes.
Ah, yes.
Dude, the way he referenced Ken in that old episode where he's like, well, clearly, maybe Ken's like a disembodied voice of a ghost. you obviously know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
He's like, oh, it's terrible. We all tragically died in that accident. I miss you.
I miss you here on this yacht.
See you in an hour. That was a great episode, especially when he did the drag dress up and he's like, dude, we had a date. What are you talking about? Cancel? And, yeah, pretty much just that whole Barbie episode when I first saw it, I was like, this is not going to be good. Because it was like the return. He had taken a break and he was coming back. And I saw it was a Barbie episode. But after watching it, dude, I fucking love it. Especially it was like, clowns. I think it was Idaho was clown. I don't remember.
Yeah, that's right.
He was talking about the different states that Barbie went to in the Super Nintendo game.
Yeah. It's like Idaho is known for their clowns.
Clowns. So, number 7 is Titanic. Fun fact, did you know he actually put that game in his fucking Famicom? and threw it in water.
I was wondering about that, actually.
There was an interview that asked him about that, and he was like, there were no special effects. I just took the game after we're done, put it in, and I threw it in water. It's like, this is just JonTron.
Put it right in a fish tank.
There's no special effects. I just threw it in a fish tank. So that was awesome to me.
Yeah.
I don't know how much money those carts were worth, but he definitely just threw both of them in a fish tank.
Well, not only that,
with
but
his Famicom.
The Famicom, yeah. I'd be more worried about the Famicom.
Hey, dude's making money. Obviously, he's got millions of hits on.
Dude, that video in particular, like I remember, like Amy and I were watching it, just laughing our ass off because the Chinese to English translation was so bad. It was like,
dude,
together they form a tragic love story.
Dude, the '90s video game, Lost in Time, I think it was called.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Sorry. Oh,
the horrible computer animation.
Oh, it was straight up 90s PC. You can't fuck with 90s PC where everything had to be like... Everything was full motion, but not full motion. It was just like screenshots. And it's like, oh, you haven't been in your quarters. And he's like, fuck you. I bought the ticket. I'll do what I want. That was great.
That one and busting out with the Meatloaf song.
I would play any game on earth. Yes, I would play any game on earth. I would play any game on earth, but I won't play that.
Oh, yeah. That was
I
great.
would play any game on earth,
but I won't play that. And there was the when he's talking about the power-ups and beat-em-ups, and he is like, oh, it's usually a chicken. And this one, it's lobster. That was a great
The bougiest of beat-em-ups.
The bougiest of beat-em-ups. Yeah, fuck that. That was awesome.
Yeah.
It showed a lot of dedication because he had taken such a long break, and he still is JonTron, you fucking asshole. Where's my new video?
He's waiting.
I'm waiting, John. Sorry. Continue. Alright, so, after the wonderful adventure that was Titanic, I have my number 6, which is the California Games.
Oh, that's a good one, too.
Dude, when he starts throwing out the random slang that isn't slang,
yeah,
I fucking lost it.
He's like, we see that all the time.
Oh, I see it. Oh, dude, of course, as soon as I go to say it,
I know, I can't think of what it is.
Let's drop in on a grommet?
Oh, grommet. I used to say it all the time back in Cali. You couldn't stop me saying this word. Grommet this, grommet that. The fuck does grommet mean?
Ah, it's killing me. I just want to pause right now because it's so funny. But, yeah, dude, and when it's like the dude dies when he's doing the, like, wakeboarding and it comes back and it just starts playing the Happy Up tune.
Yeah. It's like playing a funeral theme for, like, a minute.
For a full fucking minute, and then it's just like, do. It's like, wait, I did not edit that. That's the way the game did it.
And then what did they call hacky sack? It's like
Foot bag.
yeah. It's like, oh, you mean hacky sack.
Foot bag. Oh, Jesus Christ, the cat is killing it. But, I wish we could remember one of these phrases.
I know, man, it's killing
me. Shroob? Something like that. Oh, it really is hurting my emotions.
You know what? We'll check it on break.
No, we won't. Yeah, you look that up, because that needs to be looked up. Because that could be a whole segment by itself.
Continue your list.
He was such a swood guy. I remembered one, yes.
That must have been one swood guy.
I used to say it all the time. Swood this, swood that.
We did not take a break. I actually remembered swood, alright? Because, you know what? That episode was fucking hilarious. It was good times. Yeah. And they only get better. So, alright, going from California Games, we go to the second Malkovich video. that he did with Egoraptor and all the guys from Game Grumps. Well, technically just Egoraptor. So, there was technically not a full cast. It wasn't like they had Rubber Ross and Danny and... they technically kind of had him. They didn't have him, though. You know what I mean? Game Grumps was a lot smaller back then.
Yeah, much smaller.
But he decided to make a sequel to Malkovich, and they did a gaming game show. And it was fucking hilarious. He had, it went from naming random things to drinking spoiled milk to somehow we're in an alien invasion and we have to launch Malkovich, who isn't actually here. This is a fake Malkovich into space. Crazy. Absolutely nuts. Malkovich. Gaming game show. Look it up. All right. Number 6.
I just saw another one.
Sorry. Number 4.
Yes, because horizontal hunger is for grommets.
That's the other one. That was Gromit. That's the one I couldn't forget.
Oh, my God. All right.
The LA dinosaur. You know, the famous LA dinosaur. Number 4. Stairfax temperatures. Star Fox Adventures was fucking awful. There's nothing more you can really say about it, can you? I mean, he said a lot.
Yeah,
he had a lot to say,
yeah.
But I played it, and I was like, this isn't Star Fox.
I never played it, and I thank God I never did.
No, I'm sorry. This isn't Stairfax. This is Stairfax Temperatures. That was a great episode. Really good commentary on how bad and generic that game was. Because that was definitely the beginning of the decline of Rare.
Yeah.
Because Rare made that game.
Yeah.
But he has this whole thing about Shigeru Miyamoto going to fucking UK to Rare's office. He's like, da, 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 da. It was funny as shit. It's worth watching. Hell, even if you aren't a fan, check it out. Number 3.
Number 3.
2 ways to pronounce it in the video. I have a feeling it's actually called Dino City, but you could call it Tenacity. The best part about this episode, and I hate to say it, it's what sticks out the most to me, is the beginning. When he's sitting there going through the whole thing about, how do I play this game? And he's like, oh my god, it's the SMBS. You know what I'm talking about? He throws it in like the dishwasher twice. It's fucking great. That sticks out more than anything in the whole video to me, and I've rewatched it more because of that. Either way, it was also a game that I had never played, which I did play after I watched his fucking review of it. The game's fucking hard.
I remember playing it like when it first came out.
I did not think it was good, as he seems to think. We can, apples, oranges.
Yeah.
But, hard game, but the intro to that video, other than what I'm going to say is my number 1, one of his best intros to any video he did. It was great.
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Oh, no. Dicks up. Dicks up to you, JonTron.
2 dicks up.
Number 2, the Nightshade video. Did you watch that?
I watched it. I think I've only watched that one once, though.
You need to rewatch it. It's fucking hilarious. The best part is when he's reacting to, like, because basically it's a point and click adventure on Nintendo.
Right.
If you played any point and click, their sense of humor is awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that always gets me when he's talking about the grate, he's like, the grate's stuck. Isn't that great? It reminds me of great-great-grandma. She had a great like this, great, and it starts going through this whole diatribe about grate, and he just does the puking scene. It's fucking awesome. That, and of course, how do you handle menus with 4 buttons?
Yeah.
And a point and click.
Yeah. I remember playing that game. It was a bitch.
It still is. Also, quick throw out. There's a way to dodge the bomb at the beginning, which was always my biggest pet peeve about that game. How do you dodge the fucking bomb? You know what I'm talking about?
No.
So, the claws set you up, and it's like, there's a bomb here, there's a fucking candle here. You gotta get through the roast, but you don't want to get blown up by the bomb. If you got blown up by the bomb, lose half your life, right? It was only through, just out of random curiosity, somebody did a speed run of it. What apparently you're supposed to do at the beginning, because you're tied to a chair, you're supposed to go back behind the wall that everything's set up on to avoid the bomb exploding and you don't lose life. I remember when I saw that, I was like, I've seen like 4 or 5 random reviews of this game and nobody has shown me that. Did I go back and replay it? No.
No.
But the fighting cop scene was hilarious. You know what I'm talking about right at the beginning where he just like, out of nowhere, turns into like a fighting game?
Yeah.
He's like throwing his hat and he's doing these like quick old-timey jabs. Good shit. But there is one that is better than all.
What is number 1?
One video to rule them all. That didn't slap nearly as loud as I thought it would. That was the book closing on this argument, by the way. I'm glad my joke got terribly set up. I'm throwing the pen. Alright.
Pen thrown.
The best episode, in my opinion, the Monster Party episode.
That's a good one.
Have you seen it?
Yeah.
Yes. That was great. The dance segment in between, leading into day 2 of playing the game. The fucking Little Shop of Horrors reference. The toast at the beginning in his fucking Nintendo. Again, the best intro of any of his videos was that one. Because he's talking about, the only thing more done here is my toast. He opens up the NES, there's toast, and he's like, alright, we're going to play Monster Party. Oh, gotta hook it up. And he just slams down a Nintendo. He's like, gotta hook up the HDMI, slaps it down, tapes it. Everything about the intro. That is one of the first videos I saw by him, and I was like, this dude's fucking great.
Yeah.
I love these videos.
Once you beat him, you get a question mark? Yeah, I got a few questions about this myself. Who wants a piece of my dick back? Oh, cool. I took some drugs and became a dragon.
So the Monster Party, the Preparation H shit from fucking when you turn into Bert the Dragon. You know what I'm talking about? He's like, time for your Preparation H, sir. Fucking great. Everything about the Monster Party video, I'll watch that over any video he's ever made, any day. Unless he finally starts making new ones. Jonathan Tronathan. So, let's see him. What you got?
Well, he just did the Star Wars ones.
Sort of. He took a break after 3, and it's been like a month again. It's like, I have no clue what's going on over there, and I'm not going to sit here and bash him for it. I'm just going to be a random internet loser and be like, where's my video, John?
Yeah, pretty much.
So,
get on it.
I'm going to be so happy when I see a new one, because he says he's just working on his own shit. He's still working on Starcade. He's doing both at the same time, I guess. I don't know. I just want him to make new shit. I miss you, JonTron. And I miss the fact that we're done with a new segment, because it always hurts my heart a little when a new segment's over.
You know what? Speaking of new segments, not to get too far off topic here, but...
Oh, Jesus.
As I was going through, and by the way, towards the end of the episode, we're going to talk about this, but we're on the YouTubes now.
We are on the YouTubes.
So we have a few episodes up there. I put a couple episodes up, and then I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to go cut the Mega Man X boss battle part and put that up there.
We have our own Mega Man, just itself,
just that
Mega
segment.
Man X.
Just that segment.
I just dropped the book, but again, it's so soft you couldn't fucking hear it. So the book's been dropped. It's like the mic right now.
So I put that up there. No, don't drop the mic. Okay. that will be loud. That will register.
All right.
But no, I put that up there, and I was thinking, I was like, you know...
Should I draw pictures and re-edit it myself with pictures of these bosses?
That would be awesome if you could do that.
Oh, God. I'm going to have to buy Photoshop again.
So, I was going through it, and I was, putting the episode up, and I was kind of listening to it as it was uploading, and I was like, this really was funny, and I really do want to do it again. But like I was telling Amy, I was like, I don't know where to go after Albino Chameleon. I was like,
it's over. You dropped the mic on the segment.
I was like, the only one that I had that could rival it was the one that I told you about, which was Paraplegic Octopus. That's the only one that even rivals the Albino Chameleon.
Well, that wasn't on the show. Why didn't you save that?
Well, because I told you about it.
Well, you didn't tell these guys.
I gave it to you as an example. No, I did.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me, right?
No, yeah. When we first announced it, I was like, such as this.
That's a great one.
But yeah, so
So it's coming back next week.
I don't know about that. I need some more time to think, because
I need more life to absorb before I can create this concoction again.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right, I can live with
that segment will definitely come back, although I don't know how I'm going to top Albino Chameleon.
I don't think he will, actually, so... I'm looking forward to my robots being better than yours
All
next
right.
time. I think we're going to break.
Yeah.
We're going to get into gasms. And, wow, for an episode, I'm not even going to lie. Before we started this, we said we don't have much to talk about. And I was like, oh, okay, it's going to be a shorty. We're already at 1 hour and 40 minutes, Josh.
Yeah, that tends to happen.
Yeah, can we knock it off? We're leaving. Goodbye. Fucking done. No, you keep recording. They need to hear how fucking done I am with this fucking show.
Oh my god, I'm so having a nerdgasm.
We are back to wrap this gavel up, B.
We're back to fucking hit some shit up on a grommet.
Yeah, we actually checked something during the break for once.
We did. Now we're dropping in on a grommet. And, you know.
What a swood guy.
We're some swood guys here. Yes, we watched some videos. We enjoyed some time.
Yes.
I'm talking louder because I'm sitting further away. No, I'm talking quieter. And quieter. And quieter.
Shut up.
Sorry, my bad.
Alright. So, last week I neglected to mention which songs I used for my transitions for the week before.
You're a cocksucker.
I am. So, 2 weeks ago.
I put it nicely.
2 weeks ago, the songs I used, of course, I used Rowdy Roddy Piper's theme.
Yes, you did.
I went into Goosebumps for your story. I used Thunder Horse.
Thunder Horse from Guitar Hero 2?
Yes.
Thunder Horse.
Yes. Which I was always hoping they would move over to Rock Band, but they never did.
Probably will never do.
No, probably not.
Hey, you'll find out in the Guitar Hero fucking Rock Band 4. Let me say the wrong name.
And then I closed out with La Resistance.
That was a good one.
Lives on.
Yeah, they may cut your dick in half and serve it to a pig. And when they do, you'll laugh and dance a ticklish jig. It's always been my favorite part of that song.
That's a great one.
Alright, so I guess I gotta go move into my songs.
Yeah, what'd you use last week?
I opened with, because we made so many South Park jokes not too long ago, I had to use the South Park theme to open. Man, Matt and Trey, if we ever make money, they're gonna take all of our Moonies. Because we have abused them like some dirty whores.
No, again, if they ever did catch wind of it, I don't think they would care.
I think if we got massive, I think Comedy Central would have came after us first.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. All right. What did I switch it to? We were just talking about it. Jesus. Jesus. Jesus.
For the love of God, we need a mixer because I need a Jesus button.
It was great. The next one I used was Frieza's theme from Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F.
Correct.
Then I switched it up to the Honest trailer from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the new one. Mm-hmm. Past versus present, man.
Yeah.
Fit perfectly.
It really did.
Said a lot of exactly what I thought. I didn't actually watch that Honest trailer. When I was listening to it for the video, I was like, he's so right.
Pretty dead on, yeah.
So, after that, I moved to the most epic anime intro of all time, Attack of Titan. That song is fucking amazeballs.
And what did we close out with DVDA?
What did I close out with?
Gonna need a montage! Sports training montage.
I didn't use the sports
I know
training
you
as
didn't
we
use the
spoke
sports.
about. I did use the Team America because I was so hype over some Matt Damon. So I went with the Team America version of montage because I was all about some Team America apparently.
All right.
I had fun.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get into the fucking sway of things I did last week where I was like, let me find a word, and every time somebody says it, I'm going to do this.
No, I'll stick to my Jesus button.
Yeah. If only Kirk was here to say the Lions right now. I thought that was hilarious.
No, it was good.
All right.
I was like, and I told you, I was like, after the third time, I was like, clearly he won't do it a third time. No,
I figured if I'm going to do something, I'm going to make sure I annoy somebody with it.
No, it was good. I liked it.
Hey, man, sometimes I'm Matt Damon. So, it was fun.
Right.
I look forward to maybe doing that never again because that took a lot of time. But I had fun with it.
Good.
All right. Let's make T-shirts.
All right.
'Cause once I make some money off this, I will gladly dedicate 9 hours.
So, shall we get into our...
Isn't that what we're here for?
Yeah.
Because that's clearly all that matters. Is our nerdgasm.
All right, so for this week, I have only 2.
You only have 2? Wow, I
Yeah.
have more than you.
Yeah, I normally have like 5 or 6 gasms.
Apparently this week I'm the spooky ghost.
Spooky ghost.
This is ectoplasm.
First one I have is Gaming Sins. This is right along the same line of Cinema Sins. It follows the same style.
Yeah, I've seen Gaming Sense.
Yeah,
It's
it's
very good.
Yeah, they've done quite a few videos at this point, but they just did Mortal Kombat X.
Oh.
Very cool, very good. Go back and watch it.
You agree?
Yeah, they also did one, which I was actually listening to a day. God,
A day.
Yeah.
A day to remember.
All right,
It's a
yeah, I'm
great
like
band.
7 beers in at this point.
I believe it.
I was listening to one today.
I seen it.
He basically went on a rant like we've done about DLC and how much
Yeah.
it sucks and buying a season pass before the game is even out.
And they're huge into microtransactions and downloadable characters.
Exactly. So somebody posted a video response to him on this.
Yeah.
So he basically had a 30-minute retort.
Oh.
And during the video, he keeps showing the case for Fatal Frame 2.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why Fatal Frame 2 of all games does he keep showing? And he's like, so you've probably been noticing I've been showing this cover for Fatal Frame 2. Fatal Frame 2 is one of my favorite games of all time. It's one of my, probably the best horror game of all time, in my opinion.
That shit's fucking creepy.
It really is. But he was like, I never bought the game originally because there used to be a Blockbuster down the street. I could go rent games. You know, I could play it whenever I wanted, basically. But he was like...
That's how I played it. I rented it from Blockbuster.
Yeah. So he was like, a couple years ago, I found a sealed copy of it, and the guy only wanted $40.
Whoa.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's a pretty rare game.
You jump on that.
So
That
he-
is not the Titanic. You jump on that ship.
He was like, I defy anybody to find any game that comes out nowadays. You know, the $40 is basically a season DLC pass now at this point.
Yeah, it actually is.
It's 30 or 40.
It's generally the prices, yeah, $30 or $40 just for what they're going to make later, which should have been in the game.
Yeah. And he went into all that with Mortal Kombat, and he was like, you know, Sindel is in the game. She has a character model. She has a move list. Rain, same thing. Baraka.
Yeah.
Tanya was. And he was like, this is content already in the game that they have cut out to be released at a later date just to charge you more money.
It's true, and it's something I've always thought about, is because the fact that you go into these games and you're paying the same thing because everybody was like, oh, next gen, are they going to charge more? And they're like, no, they don't have to because they set it in last generation. It's like, we got DLC.
Yeah.
We plan around it. Whereas before, if you really look at it, where it was like, yeah, $60, if you really look at it, you're paying close to $100 for the full game now.
Yeah.
Nobody's really talking about that because that's not what you're paying on the release.
Right.
So, when...
Because there's always going to be that douchebag that's like, oh, they're not making you buy the DLC.
And they're not. And I don't buy DLC. But you know what? I also miss out on, like, half the times now. Shit, it's almost half the content.
Yeah. He also mentioned Arkham Knight. Where, so he was like, you know, the season pass for this is $39.99. It's $40 fucking dollars. And he was like, let's go into it and see what you actually get. And it lists everything but the Red Hood DLC, because the Red Hood DLC was exclusive to GameStop. So it was like, you're paying $40 for a season pass, and you're not even getting all the DLC they're releasing.
It's fucked up.
It is
exclusive
fucked up.
deal. It's all so stupid now.
All right, well, go check out Game & Sins. Good stuff.
That's a good one to check out.
The only other one that I have, there is a game that I found. It's on iPhones as well, but I have an Android. It's called Dragon Ball Z Dokkan.
I've seen it, but I refused because I'm afraid it sucks.
It's like any freemium game. You start out, it's pretty easy, you level up, and then you kind of hit that wall where you need to grind or pay money to advance forward.
Yeah, that's what they do.
That's a freemium game, so I'm over that. I'll grind. I don't have a problem grinding.
That's how they get your moonies.
It's basically, it's a puzzle game / fighter, so it's kind of like if you were to mix Dragon Ball Z and Candy Crush.
Oh, God.
Kind of the same thing. So basically there's different colored key orbs and you have to line them up correctly.
As long as they don't add the breaker that Candy Crush did, which is why I don't play it.
I don't know what you're talking about. I never played Candy Crush.
You get to a certain level and they're basically like... Because I'm a huge person into where I don't want to see your shit on my Facebook.
Yeah.
I don't want that.
No, I don't want it.
They get to a point in the level where they're like... To continue in the game, you need to share this with your friends on Facebook. And I literally looked at that and I was like, this makes sense now.
No, nothing like
that.
that.
Fuck you guys. Uninstalled right there. I was like, I am not going to share you with my friends.
No, nothing like that. So in this one, you get your characters and you fight other, bosses and stuff like that. But you line up your key spheres, and the more that you get in a row is the stronger your attack is going to do.
Yeah.
And if you get, I think it's like 10 key spheres in one go, then you unleash your ultimate attack, which is, Big Bang, Kamihami, whatever. So, pretty cool game. If you want to kill a couple minutes, it's obviously with mobile games.
If you got 15 minutes, you got something to do.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, if I need to take a break on work or whatever, I'll pop it on for a second and play. So, check it out. It's not bad.
All right, I guess I'll get into my face. Mine, I have 3, but they're all the same thing, kind of. I have nothing but 3 anime. I took a break from anime because I haven't had anything I want to watch. I got back into a series I started but stopped. I got into a series that just randomly popped up in my feed one day. Somebody was like, you should watch this. And I was like, all right. And then just a random one came up out of nowhere. So, I'll start with the old first. Akame ga Kill. Really cool. It was a great series. I don't remember why I stopped watching it, because it is really awesome. And I believe the whole thing is dubbed, if you're into dub, so check that out. The other one is Absolute Duo, which was a random one I'd never heard of. It's basically gifted people can pull weapons from their spirits, depending on how they've gone through life.
Okay.
And it's pretty cool, and as they go through this school that they're all going to, they give them, like, drugs and injections to boost their power as they become more into the being they want them to be. But then, I didn't finish the series. I stopped pretty much, like, a mega conglomerate, like, comes into it, because one of them's really gifted. They're trying to pull her out, and then everybody starts fighting, blah, blah, blah. That's where I stopped. So,
wait, does everybody kung fu fight?
They pretty much do.
Everybody's kung
fighting. So, yeah, that one seems pretty cool so far. It's called Absolute Duo. That's pretty fun. But the one I'm definitely, it's the peak of my gasm, basically. It's called Prison School. It's, I'm watching it right now from, shout-outs to kissanime.com. They get a lot of the stuff as it's getting aired, and it's completely free, unlike Crunchyroll. There's no pay to watch, blah, blah, blah. I don't know how far the season actually is. Maybe Crunchyroll is like a week or 2 ahead. I don't know. I'm watching it week to week. It actually is something I wait for and I watch. But it's basically like an all ghoul Ghostbusters. An all-girl college, I believe it's college, is like finally letting males in, and they only bring in 5. And these 5 are held to an underground society. Not society, sorry. An underground, Jesus Christ, can't think of the word.
Sorority?
It's not a sorority. It's like a facility, like the police.
Facility.
Yeah, basically. You get the point. It's like a policing operation that's underground. But apparently, once it came to light that they were going to try and bring in male students, it became known, hey, they're here. And immediately, they do something stupid, and they all get locked up. And it's like brutal policing of these 5 students. And one of them is the first time he talked to a girl, so he's like, I got a date on this day, and I'm supposed to get out this day, but they're not going to let me out, so he plans a prison break. And it's just nuts. It's brutally violent, and it's very,
Is it elfin lead violent?
I don't know. I've told you, I never saw that series.
God. That's one we need to get on.
I'll say it's cartoonishly violent.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of scenes where they're getting beat so brutally, and then just a couple hours later, they got marks on their face, and they're like, "Oh, that was a bad idea." But it's hilarious, and I will say my standout point is, I'm not going to spoil anything, maybe, but one of the guys is, I think you'll laugh about this. One of the guys is crawling through this grate where he found a way to be able to go from one spot to another, and it's through this. Remember in Batman when you can get in those little spots with the... You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, like the air vents?
Yeah, kind of like that, but they're on the ground.
Yeah.
Just those little tunnels where they're little flap-up panels and you can jump out. Well, he finds one of those, and he's going around, and he's like, all right, I could totally get from this spot to this spot, never get caught, and I can get out. And he's going back, and one of the lead, go ahead, let it all flow. The vice president, I think they call her in that show, of, basically dealing with these prisoners. She's always got her boobs hanging out. She's got massive boobs, cleavage everywhere. They all wear skirts because they're schoolgirls in Japan, so of course they got uniforms. And he's crawling through, and he happens to stop because he hears her, and he looks up, and she's just doing squats. So he's just watching, he's like, there's no way, and she's just thrusting down and everything, and he's just staring up, he's like, I can't believe this is happening. And you even see a drop of the booty sweat fall off of her ass and onto his eyeball. He's like, oh my God, I gotta get out of here. I'm supposed to be in the bathroom. They're waiting on me. I gotta go. And he goes to crawl away, and she slips into the vent on one of her squats, and the high heel goes straight into his ass. And there's blood everywhere. And he's like, oh, he's crying. And when he's being asked, they were like, why do you take so long in the bathroom? He was like, I have unusual bowel movements. And one of the guys goes, he's lying. He doesn't. He has massive hemorrhoids. And they point at the back of his pants because he didn't realize they were covered in blood. And he's like, oh, yeah, there's that too. It's well worth a watch. It's violent comedic gold.
All right.
Because it is over the top. It's definitely some fan service here and there, and it was funny to me. Because everything about it. It's called Prison School. Check it out. It's still getting subtitled. We're at 2 hours.
Yeah.
There's one dubbed English episode. It's slowly, I'm guessing that means it's behind the curve by 5 weeks. So if you want to watch it in English, you're going to get episode 2 this week, probably. So, hell yeah. I always like the fact that I can catch anime now as it's coming out.
All right. Well, yeah. We're at 2 hours.
I'm glad this is one of our short episodes.
Yeah, this is a short episode. We got this.
All right.
Got this by the balls.
Well, yeah, because our gasms are out. It's easy to grab now.
All right. So check us out. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you probably found us on Podomatic or iTunes.
Next week, we might have a new segment. I'm not saying anything concrete, but I think we might have a new segment.
Yeah, we're working it out.
Could be funny.
We'll figure it out. We got it.
We got you. We got you. We got our fans. And I hope you enjoy your week. And I hope you don't work too hard. I hope you get some fapping in. And I hope you sleep well.
Oh, and as I said, we're on the YouTubes now.
We're on the YouTubes.
Check us out. Such a Nerd Podcast. Twitter.
It's podcast?
It is podcast.
Oh, it's the first change. You fucked it up. It's supposed to be Such a Nerd Pod.
Hey, you know, it is what it is.
You did it live, and you did great. We're there.
Check us out on Twitter, Such a Nerd Pod, Gmail, Such a Nerd Pod.
Facebook, Such a
Nerd
Nerd
Pod.
Twitter, Such a Nerd Pod.
Everything's Such a Nerd Pod except for YouTube.
Which is Such a Nerd Podcast.
Remember the cast.
Hey, sometimes you gotta cast.
Yeah, sometimes you gotta remember the cast of that movie.
Sometimes you gotta drop it on a grommet.
Sometimes you gotta cast yourself in a grommet.
You're so fucking swoon.
Later.
Peace.
What would you do if you were asked to give up your dreams for freedom? What would you do if asked to make the ultimate sacrifice? Would you think about all them people who gave up everything they had? Would you think about all them war vets, and would you start to feel bad? Isn't free. It costs folks like you and me. And if we don't all chip in, we'll never pay that bill. Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee. And if you don't throw in your bucko 5, who will? What would you do if someone told you to fight for freedom? Would you answer the call or run away like a little pussy? 'Cause the only reason that you're here is 'cause folks died for you in the past. So maybe now it's your turn to die kicking some ass. It costs folks like you and me. And if we don't all chip in, we'll never pay that bill. Freedom isn't free. No, there's a hefty fucking fee. And if you don't throw in your bucko 5, who will? If you don't throw in your bucko 5, bucko fair. Freedom costs a bucko fair.
What do you mean what happened? What are you, blind? Jesus! There was 5 of them! It took 5 of them!